Hey, this is my unboxing video that I'm doing for the product I bought from my Out Forever's channel. I bought the coffee mug, and here it is. Sorry there's a glare from the screen, but lots of bold, crisp, beautiful colors, inside and out, high quality ceramic. I absolutely love it. So y'all go check out his website. He's got a lot of fun, fresh designs. And cheers to you, Shaka, and all of your endeavors. Peace.
Our sister RP is in the place to be. What's up, sister?
ET Sin E. How you doing?
Et Senate E. I'm doing nefer.
Oh, great, great. Um, well, I got it today. I was thinking it was coming from France, but then I did the tracking and it was outside actually when I went to check, and here it is.
Oh, that's what's up. It's just like my hat. That's what's up.
Yeah,
Let me do the solo layout. There it is, brothers and sisters. That's
yeah.
what's up.
I really like this. Yeah, so I have an after school program that I help facilitate. And I'm going to wear this because we're going to start talking about coding. So I'm going to
Okay.
use this as an introduction because this is a code. It's
Mm.
ancient code, but it's still a code. And then we're going to be able to, demonstrate. I'll be able to demonstrate to them the meanings inside each of the, glyphs and stuff. So, but yeah, I was looking online and I was like, this is actually like really good designs. So as soon as I get some more, extra money, I'm gonna get the matching hat, and I want to get a Ma'at shirt. But I really like the Kemet one. Uh,
All right. Hey, brother Donnie Williams. See, you got your
Yeah,
mail.
yeah. What's up, Shaka? I was gonna do just I know it's a serious topic, but I was gonna do a little
Oh, no, I appreciate that, bro. I'm
unboxing.
glad.
So
I'm glad. Yeah, yeah. Live
yeah, man.
unboxing. Bro, you don't mind if I use this excerpt, like as a clip, my
No,
intro?
no,
Oh,
it's all
thank you.
good.
Thank you. And for
Yeah.
those who wonder, I'm gonna share the link. All right, that's lovely.
Yeah, I got the Heather Gray. Oh man, yeah,
Oh, you got the
I
Kemet
didn't,
shirt as well. Okay.
yeah. I didn't know it had that on the back
In the
though.
black. Yeah.
Yeah, that's nice. That's what's up,
That's
man.
lovely. Oh, thank you. I
So
appreciate that.
yeah. So just letting you know, just coming through, showing some support real quick, man. I'm about to get back into this Netflix film. So um, just wanted to say peace, man, and thanks.
Yeah, thanks a lot, brother.
Okay.
All
All right.
right.
Wolf, please don't do it to him.
I've been spitting flames, know the boy's really hot, yeah. Getting to the bread, I just got me a check, yeah. Fly as a plane, my whip look like a jet, yeah. Smoking on that loud and a nigga feeling great, yeah.
I'm doing good, you doing bad.
That's why you hate, yeah. Never catch me slipping, I stay with that strap, yeah. Got a tick, I'm about to break a back, yeah. Getting to the money, no need to show me where it's at, yeah.
I'm blowing on that loud.
And the nigga feeling great, yeah. Buying shit you never had, that's why you mad, yeah. Put that on my baby, I gotta get that bag, yeah. Vince Carter bitches say I'm half man, half amazing. These fools wanna try me, I'm waiting. What? Diploma nigga, the flow done graduated. Tell 'em running up the bank.
Don't worry what I'm making.
Talk about me, but you trash, why you faking? True. I got a thick, dark skin chick, she Jamaican. True. Chasing that paper with no hesitation. God send, try me, I'm busting that shit.
Satan.
Tell 'em I got my girlfriend, and I name her lifesaver. Oh my God, that boy's going hard. Yeah, get wet like rain. I stay with the storm. I switch the flow up, but I still got my swag though. Getting to the money, I ain't got time for you hoes.
Hotep Senuhena Senut Iyitida and Ishaka Ndugu Kemet. I hope you're doing well. The title of this live stream is Chief X Ran from V Bennett. And we do have the brother in the place to be. V Bennett, how you doing, brother?
Hey Shaka, Hotep, bro. Hotep, I'm doing
Hotep.
good, man.
Doing good.
How about
That's
yourself?
beautiful. Oh, I'm chilling. I'm chilling. I mean, I see that we know we have a video here that says White Egypt debunked. Chief
Yeah,
X is in his feelings. And I see that's on your YouTube. So I'm about to
exactly.
share this video. You know what I'm saying?
Please do, bro.
Now,
Please do.
who's in the place to be? Andrew Bonet is in the place to be. I'm sorry. Va prendre le téléphone là-bas. 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 Tu veux pas? Bah tant pis, c'est pas grave. Va prendre le téléphone là-bas. Okay. Test Baba is in the place to be. Prends le téléphone là-bas. Il est là-bas. Il est là-bas. Il est là-bas. Il est là-bas le téléphone. I'm sorry about this. Troublemaker.
No, you good, bro. You
All right.
good?
Well, okay. I'm gonna put my mic on mute and play the video.
Yeah, and it appears he was in his feelings, but you know, it's okay. That happens sometimes.
Yeah, it happens to the best of us.
I think you're on mute.
Chief X, what's up, man?
What's up, Chief X?
You're on mute, Chief X. You're on mute.
Okay, I didn't want nothing. I just stopped by to fuck with you and say hi.
All right. Yeah, your friend V Bennett is here. He wants to smoke with you now.
Who?
What's up, Chief X?
V Bennett had some words for him.
What's happening?
You in the comments,
Yeah.
you said you lashed out at V Bennett a little.
Yeah, because people don't watch my videos, but they want to talk about them when somebody else is talking.
But why would you say that about me? You don't have any evidence that I never watched your video.
I
Why
sure
would you
don't,
say that?
but you
No.
can
So why
be
would you say
honest,
that?
though.
But why
'Cause
would you say that? That's not. But
Let
Chief
me
X,
answer.
why would you even start that way
Well,
if
let
you
me
don't know?
answer. Let me
Oh,
answer.
okay.
I clearly remember a couple times ago I was on and you were on. I strictly asked you, did you follow my videos or watch my page? You said no. So all of a sudden, when I call somebody else, they act like they did. I mean, it's okay to be honest. If you don't follow me, if you're not subscribed, it's okay to say that.
Well, did I just watch your video on Shaka's program when he played it?
That was it. Shaka played a brief clip. That's what I'm saying. Like I try to tell people. If I'm commenting on somebody's video, I have to watch it so I can be totally clear of their point and what they're trying to say. Other than
Okay,
that, I'm just
so Chief
commenting
X.
and I may be all off base.
Okay, I got you.
Yeah.
So let me. Okay, that could you could be right. I'm sorry if maybe I was mistaken, and maybe I didn't watch your
I'm very
argument. So
honest.
let
I wouldn't tell you you're off base if you wasn't. If you were, I would say, okay, yeah. I can tell by the people's comments if they watched or not. And I'm not
Okay,
gonna
so-
dive.
Pause it right here.
Okay, I got you. So that's okay. We all make mistakes, and I'm also a person. I'm not perfect. I make mistakes all the time. But the gist of it is this: you make a claim, right, that you're using DNA, right? That a lot of your views.
Shaka, yeah, pause it for a second. Now,
All right.
actually, can you hear me?
Yeah, hold on. There.
Yeah. Now, you know, there is a little bit of confusion here about if I've watched Chief X's videos. No, I haven't watched all his videos. Definitely not. I haven't watched all his videos. Have I watched a few before? Yeah, I have watched a few before. The videos that he's talking about regarding DNA, no. But my reaction and my need to respond is to some of his claims is not from his videos that he's playing that I'm watching. It's from his remarks that he makes on openly in the public on channels like yours and others. I mean, we've seen them. We've reviewed some of them here, right? So he has mentioned DNA, and he has mentioned that in his view, the ancient Egyptians are Caucasians, as he says, right? So he's mentioned a number of things publicly that a person doesn't just have to go to his videos to know he believes and what his perspective is. Those are statements that he made. Now, how he came to those conclusions, a person might want to know how he came to that, but it doesn't matter in my mind how he came to it. The word Caucasian he won't find in any of those studies regarding DNA. So I don't necessarily need to, but I wanted, for the sake of the conversation, I wanted to just give him right, and just let the conversation continue. So
views about Kemet, who the Kemites were, is based on DNA, right?
Yeah, you were on mute, bro. That's all.
Yes, brother. Thank you. All right.
Am I mistaken?
Okay. Well, just real quick to clarify, I've been in this community since 1991. It's like I'm not new. You know what I mean? I got Egyptian tattoos all over. Okay. So if I'm making a claim, it's based off a compilation of things that I've learned over the years and that I've researched over the years, and genetic science is one of them.
Okay, I understand that. Okay, so let me ask you something. What's the last report on genetic science that you've read about the Kemites? When was that produced?
Oh, I can't. My memory is not that great to tell you the name of an article and date of it.
Okay, is it like 10 years ago? Was the study
video.
based on something 20 years ago, 10 years ago, 2 years ago?
Everything is recent. I'm not
just pause it right here.
If you really,
I have a need to ask this because of his own terms that he uses. He uses Caucasian, so we know that term doesn't come about, yesterday in the last 10 years. That's a term that refers to quite some time ago. A century ago? You see what I mean? So I'm just trying to understand, because I don't know the brother, which is why I have to ask the questions, and so I'm asking the questions because I don't want to assume. I want to hear what he has to say and see if it leads to the connection between the two. But there we go.
really want to know, I got at least 10 videos talking about the genetic history of North Africa. It's right there. Full-blown presentations, you know what I mean, with sources and all. I mean, that's all the person got to do is go to my page and watch it.
Okay, I got you. So would you say it was within the last year?
Bro, everything, when you talk about the genetic history of North Africa, what was talked about 2 years ago is the same thing talked about today. It's no difference. And it hasn't changed that much.
Okay, it hasn't changed that much. Okay, I got you. So in other words, you've never read any type of current in the last 4 years that refutes the claim that you made.
Every day, I'm sitting here telling you right now, I have
tens of See, he didn't even hear my question. And so that's a problem right there, just in basic dialogue. Now, if you notice, I'm not yelling at him. I'm not insulting him. He's already heard some things that I've said. So he doesn't seem offended when he volunteered to hop on the panel, right? But he didn't listen to my question. My question was, has he read any studies that refute his claims? Play it back. That's clearly what I said. I didn't get an answer to that, but
what was talked about 2 years ago is the same thing talked about today. It's no difference. And it hasn't changed that much. Congratulations, you know what I mean, with sources and all. I mean, that's all the person got to do is go to my page and watch it.
Okay, I got you. So would you say it was within the last year?
Bro, everything, when you talk about the genetic history of North Africa, what was talked about 2 years ago is the same thing talked about today. It's no difference. And it hasn't changed that much.
Okay, it hasn't changed that much. Okay, I got you. So, in other words, you've never read any type of current in the last 4 years that
No,
refutes
no.
the claim
You're
that you
making
made.
assumptions. Every day, I'm sitting here telling you right now, I have tens of videos and presentation on North African genetics, meaning 10 different times I've done a bunch of research and put up sources. I don't understand what you're asking for.
Okay, no, no,
I've studied the genetic history of North Africa. Whatever
Now,
is
right, but
recent.
Shaka,
Right.
now
whenever okay, but you started.
I clearly asked him, has he ever read any data or reports that refute his claim? And the reason why I'm asking this is because, again, he started off saying he went into this, I've been in the community 20 years ago. And so in my thinking, since I'm listening to him, I'm thinking, okay, in 20 years, in that whole period, you've never read one report that refutes your views that the Egyptians are Caucasians by PhDs. By PhDs. I'm not asking for much outside of that realm, but I'm just curious because I find that a little strange, but okay.
Started off saying that you've been in the community 20 years, right? So
No,
that's the
I'm telling
genetic.
you because
The genetic stuff
see,
is not 20 years ago. You're
no,
talking
I'm
about
not
then, right?
saying that. You're mixing and matching things. Listen to what I'm telling you. The reason I said I've been in this community since 1991, which is way more than 20 years, is I'm letting you know, in case you don't know who Chief X is, I've been around this movement for a long time. A lot of you cats was in elementary school, okay?
Chief
Okay,
X, how
stop
old
it
are
right
you?
What I'm saying
there.
is that I
Stop it
have a
right
little.
there. He just said a lot of you cats were in elementary school. It's three of us on the panel. I don't know what cats he's talking about, but if you minus yourself, Shaka, that leaves me left. And the reality of it is that I wasn't in elementary school when he was doing that. I'm actually the same age as Chief X. So I'm still not hearing his answer to my question. And it's also an assumption that he's making. He seems to be in dialogue with a bunch of other people and not actually me.
Mm-hmm.
Respect for what people are
Chief X,
saying and who's been
Chief X,
around.
how
Okay?
old am I,
You're
Chief
just sitting here
X?
making a bunch of assumptions about what I do and don't know. All I'm
No,
asking, all I'm saying is, hey, listen.
no, I'm actually asking you, and you're saying you don't know.
No, listen. If you want to know my stance on genetics, I can put a couple videos in a link. You can watch them later and get back with me after
No,
you've watched them. If you
okay,
haven't
but you
watched
can't.
them, then that's what I'm saying. You're
Okay,
critiquing me, and you have not watched none of my videos. This
Hold
is
on,
what I'm
hold on,
pointing
hold on.
is. You guys have to stop doing that.
I would like to just say
Chief
one
X.
thing, and then hold on. I'm going to let you brothers, have your conversation. But Chief X, many times you say you haven't watched my videos and stuff like that. But we're having a conversation. You should be able, to state your arguments. Even if there's some things
Right,
that you need to look at, and get back the exact quote or citation.
right. But
You
see,
saying, you need to go ahead.
yeah, but people's intent, his intent is not righteous right now. You know what I
Okay,
mean? His
just
intent.
let's stop it right there. Now, when we're having any topic, when we're debating any of the history, right? This is about facts. This is about scientific discovery. And him making the statement about my intent, it doesn't matter what my intent is. If my intent is good or if my intent is bad, you still have to come with the data. He factually has no way of proving what my intent is. So why would he even go to that? I have no way of proving what his intent is when he makes all those comments. But yet I'm asking him basic questions because I don't care what his intent is.
Is asking me silly questions. He's asking me about DNA. I
You
told him.
don't need to say these questions are silly. Let's keep it cordial.
All right, I'm gonna keep it cordial. Listen, I'm just saying his intent isn't good. He has it out for me, so he cannot be genuine in the discussion. My point is, when someone tells you they've made 10 videos on genetic history of North Africa, that says they've up on it. Then for us to argue back and forth.
No, it doesn't. When somebody says that they've made 10 videos on African history, it doesn't actually mean they're up on it. It literally just means they made 10 videos. That's it. You know, I'm not a PhD. He's not a PhD. So I'm just trying to figure out why he would go down that lane, because of course you could have a lot of videos out there, but within the last 30, 40 years, science is constantly being updated. What we knew 20 years ago is not what we knew today. So, I mean, he's been making 10 videos. He's literally trying to say nothing has changed in all that time, that he has it all capsulized within his videos. Again, I'm simply speaking about the remarks he makes publicly, constantly. And everyone knows his remarks about Negroes not having any connection to North Africans or the North African history or Egyptian history. That's the context of the conversation. And in his mind, Caucasians are the founders of the Nile Valley civilization. So he can make 20 videos. He can make 100 videos saying that. It would still be wrong. Caucasians are not the founders of the Egyptian civilization. And there's no PhDs that are saying that. This is not the 1800s. So I'm not getting them still.
Or if it wasn't a year ago or 2 years ago or 3, this is petty talk.
I'm just asking when the last
I get
study
you.
was
So what
that
I'm
you
telling you,
read. That's it.
my
That's a
answer
simple
to you is,
question.
I'm up on all
Watch your
the
video.
latest. I'm up on
You said
all the
watch your
genetic.
video. That's what you
Yeah, well,
said.
if you,
But I'm just
I said, if you want to know my stance, what is wrong, in case you hear. If you want to know my
Chief X.
stance, how I felt about it, all you got to do is go watch my video.
Okay, so in other words,
They got
Chief
a
X.
full-blown
Chief
presentation.
X.
Stop it right here. See, now you could see, having cursed at the brother, having yelled at the brother, I'm simply asking him questions, which I would think he would love that. You know, ask a question and listen. Have a brother listen to you, you know. But right now, to no avail. I was just asking those first set of questions about the DNA to get an idea of how well formed his view is and knowledge of just the DNA regarding Africa, you know, and North Africa, the Saharan, and that also encapsulates what? Egypt. So that's it. But it's about to go left here, so I'm gonna let it play, bro.
For this reason. So this
So,
year,
Wait a
so
second.
in other
Wait.
words, in other words,
V
my
Bennett,
question
Brother
to
Bennett.
you, Chief X, in other words, my question to you, when was the last study that you've read on the genetics of Africans? Your answer is watch your videos. Am I correct?
when was the last study? Last week.
Well, if
When was the last
if
study
last study was
produced
last
that you
week, how
read?
come you can't speak on it?
This
Huh?
year.
Why is it that you can't
This
speak
year,
on anything that
last
you
year, the year
supposedly
before that.
have
When
studied?
So he says this year, finally, the last study is this year, and then he goes on to say to Fulani. So okay, that's enough for me. I'm going to wait because it just gets wild, bro. Go ahead.
For the last 20 years. Why is that?
Huh?
Why is it that you can't speak on anything that you studied for the last 20 years? Why is that?
I
Why do we
can.
have to go? We have you here right now where you can peddle
Hold on, who is this?
misinformation. Why is it you can't speak on anything right here, right now?
It's a fact
Who is
doctor.
speaking
I'm
to
sure.
me?
I'm sure you know the fact doctor well, Brother Chief X.
Yeah, I'm not. I'm trying to understand, why is it contentious right now? Why can't we just have conversations?
We can
Why
have
does everything
conversation.
have to be
The
contentious?
reason why it's contentious is because one of us is honest and one of us is not. And
Okay, so
I
you're
will
saying,
let the listening
so
audience
hold
decide who is who.
on. I just got on this panel. Relax, y'all. Breathe.
Now, let me ask you a question.
Hold on.
Let me ask you a
Slow
question.
down.
Let me ask you a
Let me
question.
explain something
Let me
for
ask
clarity.
you a question. All right?
No,
Mr.
let me
Chief
clarify
X.
something real
Let me
quick.
ask you a question. Well, no, we
Let
don't
me
need any
clarify something
clarification.
real quick.
What we
Hold
need is
on.
an answer from you.
Let him clarify, because Chief X is not gonna stop. Say what you say, Chief X.
Yeah,
then
just
he gonna
relax. That's what I keep saying. Relax. It doesn't have to be contentious. Listen, when I say let's have an adult conversation, people should catch themselves. You know what? Okay, let's have an adult conversation. Breathe,
Oh,
people.
we all of us here. You don't
All
need
right,
to
now
go
that you're
there,
done
Brother Chief X.
bullshitting,
breathe.
go ahead and
all
get
of
to the
us.
point.
Hold on.
Negro, get to the point,
Hold
please.
on. Let me finish.
Get to
No
the
need,
point.
no need for the
Dude,
Negro.
I don't
No,
have all
hold
day.
on,
Get to the
the
point.
fight
Hold
doctor, the fight
on. Let me
doctor.
finish.
We
Brother
all,
want to ask me. I said,
we all
let me
have to be
clarify.
cordial. No need for the Negro. Go ahead.
Yeah, relax. brother.
I'm
Relax.
relaxed. Now get to the point.
Okay, relax. Don't. You're not bullying me. Relax.
Get to the point.
No, I'll get to the point when I'm fucking ready to get to the point.
Are you ready to
it
get
ain't
to the fucking
going
get to the
nowhere.
point?
Bye, Chief.
Okay, so
Or
what
do
I'm
we have to
saying,
wait
you're
for
not
another 20
bullying
years?
nobody. That's what I'm saying. Why
Okay,
does
let's
this have
all
to be
relax, please.
contentious?
Please,
That's
please,
not
let's
how
all
you
relax.
talk to somebody. You don't say get to the
Let's all
point.
relax.
Dude, we do not
You don't
have
talk to
let's all
nobody
relax.
convention. When you
bullshit.
say
Get to
shit
the
like
point.
that means you want some drama. And we gotta
Get
be
to
here
the
being
point
dramatic.
already.
Instead
Get to
of
the
talking
point.
like an adult and having some maturity,
Okay, I'm talking
you're
like
gonna
an
say get
adult.
to the
Now
point.
get to the
I didn't
point.
say that to you.
Negro,
I'm
you are
only
wasting
asking you to
everybody's
slow
time.
down so I
Get
can
to the
Okay.
point.
clarify.
Okay, well, okay. Let's all chill. Let's all chill. Okay. How about 1 minute each? Is that okay?
Yeah, he has a question for me. I don't have a question for him. He doesn't need to go.
Okay, so should we let him ask his question to you then?
No, I said I want to just clarify something. It's
Well,
not that
go ahead.
hard. It only takes you
Go
2
ahead.
seconds.
Go ahead and
Jesus
clarify,
Christ.
and then he can ask his question to you. So go ahead, Jim.
Okay. People are asking me, when was the latest study? I keep saying every day, every year, last year, 2 years ago. I study this all the time. Whatever's
Can you
up to
cite
date.
one? Can you cite one?
They just had a study about the Fulani and where they got some of their DNA. And a lot of their DNA comes from 20% of their DNA comes from North Africa because the Fulani are a little mixed. If you're asking me that was the last study I've done. If you want me to share in the chat, I can.
All right. So now the fact that
Now I answered that. Do we have to keep going back and forth about when was the last study and all this old stuff?
Okay. Now the fact, doctor, go ahead and ask your question to the brother.
So
Chief.
I actually have 2 questions. To the chief of misinformation, do you know who Soy Kita is?
No, hold on. The fact, doctor, please, just be cordial, please. You don't need to
It's
go
a
there.
joke, man.
You know,
Doctor, leave it alone. Let him talk.
I mean, I don't want him to be antagonized. You know what I'm saying? Because let's all be cool. You know what I'm saying? So go ahead, the fact, doctor.
I
Please,
don't know what people don't know how to have an adult conversation.
I
didn't call anybody any name. I wasn't any rude. I wasn't rude. I didn't call anybody any names. I'm the only one trying to have an adult conversation.
Let's do this again. Go ahead, the fact, doctor.
First of all, if we're going to have a conversation, I need an apology for that.
I'm not interested in having a conversation with you. I just want to ask a question, okay?
Okay, I need you to apologize first.
Having a conversation with you is pointless.
No, I need you to apologize first, or we're not having no conversation.
Dude, I'm not interested in having a conversation with you. You are a fraud, okay?
Okay, I'm a fraud. I'm the king of misinformation.
You
keep saying what you want to say. That's why we can't have a conversation.
Negro, I'm not interested in having a conversation
what
with
am
you,
I a fraud? How did I defraud the people? To name one thing I defrauded the people about.
I'm about to
name one thing I defrauded the people about.
If you would be quiet and listen, I would demonstrate that you are fraud.
Go.
All you have to do is be quiet and listen. Now,
being wrong and being a fraud is 2 different things. I said name something that I defrauded the community about.
That's my first question.
Yeah, see, he's not understanding something. He's now doing linguistic acrobatics from fraud to fraud doesn't mean it doesn't mean the same thing as wrong or something to that effect, right? Being wrong doesn't mean you're a fraud. Well, in this context, when you represent a series of wrongs, right, over and over and over, it's actually the same thing. That's the thing about it. So he may not like being called a fraud, but in this actual context, a person could make that claim because he's reciting fraudulent information. Again, Caucasian, right? That's fraudulent. That's fraud. And he goes on to say some things, but go ahead, bro. I just wanted to point that out. Yeah.
Community. Did I beat anybody out of money?
Okay.
Do I owe anybody money?
Okay.
Did I molest someone?
No, I don't think he went there. He's talking about the information. Now, Chief
right, he's saying I'm a fraud.
Yeah, he's talking about the information.
Fraud.
No.
What I'm saying, listen to what I'm saying, bro. Being wrong and being a fraud is 2 different things.
Negro, you a both.
He's insulting me and calling me a fraud like I'm some scammer out here.
Yes, because that's what you are, a fraud.
Okay, so name one thing that I'm fraudulent about.
I'm
go ahead.
about
Go
to.
ahead.
I'm about to. All you have to do is
Go ahead. Go ahead.
Listen,
Go,
that's
okay.
all you have
Wait.
to do.
Wait. Hold on. Okay. The fight doctor he's asking you. Can you tell him what he's being a fraud about? Go ahead.
My first question is, do you know who Dr. Soy Keith is? That's my
Yes.
first
Now
question.
name one thing that I'm a fraud about. What did I defraud the people about?
My second question is, what do you know?
Get back to you said I'm a fraud. How did I fraud the people?
My second question is,
when did I defraud the people?
My second question is,
Stop
what
it
do
for
you
a second,
know
Shaka.
about
This is he's not getting it. See, he's the one that's made the claims. He said himself, part of his view that Caucasians, right, are the founders of the Nile Valley civilization, right? It's based in DNA. Part of that is based in DNA. He said that clearly. Now, when we started off asking about DNA, he didn't want to have that discussion. So it's like asking so if you look at this now, he's asking this guy to name, he's asking the fight doctor to name how he's fraudulent, but I'm asking him about the DNA part of it, which is his claim, and he doesn't even want to have the conversation. He's getting irritated that I keep trying to figure out what data he has actually researched on Africa to support that claim, and that's a claim he makes to everybody. So now he's back at it again, asking the fight doctor for a question. It's like, okay, well, now you want questions again.
The peopling of ancient Egypt as it relates to the pre-dynastic, specifically the ruling class. What do you know about that?
What did I defraud the people about?
Negro, answer my question, and I'd be more than happy to answer yours.
I'm answering. You asked the question. I answered it. Now it's my turn. You asked one question already. You asked me about Soy Keith. I said yes. Now answer the question.
Okay.
What did I defraud the people about?
Control it.
Wait. Okay, now the fight doctor, it's only fair that he can ask you a question indeed, because you did ask him a question. So if I'm not mistaken, Chief X said that he's aware of that scholar, right? So now,
yes.
Go ahead and ask your question.
I got him in about 5 or 6 presentations I've done.
Okay, so
but
what was your question?
He's never seen my presentation, so to ask me that question is silly. So in other words, he doesn't know my claim because he never watched my video.
Hold on. 1 second. Please, 1 second, please. So Chief X, what is your question to the fight doctor now?
My question is, what did I do to defraud the people? Name this thing that I did to defraud the people.
Black.
Okay, the fight doctor, feel free to answer.
The fact that you deny the Black African origin of the people of Kemet.
Listen to what I'm telling you.
Okay?
Someone can be wrong. It does not mean they're a fraud.
Because
no, you're not going to get away with it, bro. I said somebody can be wrong. It doesn't mean they're a fraud.
Okay.
Now I'm answering your question.
A person who is a fraud is intentionally miseducating people, intentionally lying, intentionally being deceitful. That's not me, bro.
Okay. So it was not intentional.
Is that what it is?
No, I need you to apologize.
That's not what a fraud is. A fraud is not a person who's intentionally lying. It has nothing to do with intent. Again, and I'm not sure where he's getting this from, but you can actually recite fraudulent claims even without the intent if your study's not on point. You see that? It's just that simple. I don't understand where he gets that from. Maybe he's taking his words the wrong way, possibly. And he prefers that he's wrong, possibly. But yeah. I don't even think he prefers that he's wrong, but okay.
No. The fight doctor. No, hold on. The fight doctor. No need to say stupid. You know what I'm saying? Now, what is your question for Chief X?
My follow-up question is, what do you know about the peopling of pre-dynastic Kemet, particularly the ruling class? What do you know about that?
Okay, go ahead, Chief X.
I'm not having a conversation with a person who insults me and can't apologize. I'm not doing it.
I'm sorry for being truthful and calling you a fraud. Now, are you happy now?
I'm not having a conversation with you. It's not going to work.
Okay, well, that's fine.
Well, it's
Because
over with. Yeah.
Listen, look,
It's over.
listen. I don't have to apologize for speaking my truth. And my
Okay.
truth
Okay,
is you a
good,
fraud.
good.
That's
It's
my
not your
truth.
truth. It's not your
Okay.
truth.
Okay.
It's
Okay.
your
No, it
fucking
is my
lie.
That's
truth,
his
Negro.
truth.
Okay.
But
Well,
that's
Man,
not
it's
my
a
truth.
fucking lie,
check
nigga.
this out.
You don't
Check
watch
this
my
out.
video,
No
so
need for
even
the N word.
make a claim about my videos.
No need for the N word. Now check this out. Chief X, you want to have the conversation with Brother V Bennett?
Yeah, anybody but him, because his intent is not good. He's not
Okay.
here to have a conversation. He's here to
Okay.
insult me and be an emotional wreck.
Now,
That's his
Shaka,
point. I keep
don't you remember he's already gone over intent with me before? Now it's fight
Right from
doctors.
the start. Yes.
But he's willing to go back with me, but he thinks he has evidence of my intent, but he's gonna go and have the conversation. But okay, let's see.
saying, why does this have to be contentious? I'm the only one saying this.
Answer the
No one on the
question.
panel is
All you
saying
have
why
to
do
do
we
is
have
answer
to
the
be
question.
all this,
All you
and
have
why
to
do
do
we
is
have to
answer the
argue?
question
Nobody on the
and
panel is
prove to
saying
the
that
people who are listening
except
that
Chief
you are not
X.
a fraud.
And you're
I
not
tried
going to
to
talk
All you have
over
to
me.
do.
You're not
I
going to
tried
talk
to calm
over
him
me.
down.
It's not going to
All
work.
you have to do is answer
I'm
the
the only
question
one here on the
and prove
panel
to the
Okay.
people
talking about
But
calm
you are
please,
not
down
a
and have
fraud.
adult
please,
conversation. You're
okay.
not
Now,
doing
please,
that.
please, brothers, please. Now,
Both
V
y'all
Bennett
need
is
to
back.
calm down. Yeah.
Yeah, I would suggest that, but I cannot, give any orders. Now, V Bennett is back. So, V Bennett, do you want to have a conversation with Chief X?
Yeah, yeah, I would. I would like to.
Well, feel free. Feel free.
Yeah, Chief X. What DNA analysis or reports have you read findings about the peoplings of the Green Sahara? Period. The
Okay.
Green Sahara
Okay.
period of Africa. Yeah.
That's it. So I'm not too much worried about the Green Sahara. What I have read about the Green Sahara is those people that were in the Green Sahara, when it dried up, everyone went each way: west, south, north, east. That's the way of the world. When it dries up, people migrate away. Also, I've read that people were not in the Green Sahara per se. They were on the outside, on the periphery, because in the Green Sahara was teeming with animal life, and you'll get your ass eaten up. So a
Now,
lot of people's ideas.
Stop it. I'm just sorry. Now, come on. You do we really have to I mean, can he just volunteer that he was wrong at least, or as the fight doctor was saying, that he's spreading fraudulent information, right? Because there is no data that suggests that what he just said. There's none. There's none. I mean, I really, and I'm just saying, maybe it's not his intent, right? Like he says, the fraudulent thing is the intent, but I'm sorry, he's 100% incorrect. There's no PhDs that state anything close to what he's saying. You just won't find it. In fact, here's how we know, because he contradicts that whole theory himself when he states that people migrated into Africa. Right?
And he dried up.
Exactly. So what does he think? See, what people don't understand is that discussing Egyptian history, the founders of it, right? Pre-dynastic, that is discussing the Green Sahara peopling. It's part of the Green Sahara. And all you got to do is look at the dates, And so I don't think he's quite understanding that yet, but let's go.
About the Green Sahara is off. Okay.
Is that mentioned in your report?
All I do know is those that left out of the Green Sahara went in certain areas, mostly North Africa. And it's the same people in North Africa today, because those people in North Africa today have been there 30,000 years. Soy Kita, just the other day, said 60,000 years that they've been there. I'm saying 30,000 years.
Now,
so if you're going against
I would challenge Chief X to prove to everyone that when he's discussing people leaving the Green Sahara, that those people mostly fled north. I would really like to see some data on that, because I've never read any PhD stating such a claim. But again, I think this might be going back to where the fight doctor frustration and his views of Chief X may be coming from, with the fraudulent thing again, making claims that you that are not supported by scientific analysis. But go ahead.
Boy, Keita, that's on you.
Chief X, can you cite or did you cite the report that says
Okay,
that
like
people
I said before, my memory
in
is
your
not the
video?
greatest. I'm just sitting here talking on the phone,
Did you cite?
freestyling.
No, I'm just
Hold
asking. Well, let
on,
me
I'm
ask
gonna
my
answer
question.
this. If
You didn't let me ask
ask
the
me to
question,
cite
Chief
the
X. You just
article
cut
or
me
the
off.
name of an article
No, you
and
cut
who
me
wrote
off.
it and all
You
that,
just cut
I'm
me
not
off,
gonna
Chief
know. My
X.
memory is not that
Chief
good.
X. You just
Yeah.
cut me off, brother. You didn't
No,
hear
I'm
my
just
question.
explaining. You asked me to because
Yeah.
you asked me that
No,
3 times
you
already.
didn't let me finish my question.
Okay, well, go ahead and
You
finish.
didn't. You didn't hear. You
Go
didn't
ahead
hear
and
it,
finish.
brother.
Go ahead and finish.
You
My
didn't
bad.
hear.
Go ahead and finish.
I'm going to start over again. Now,
Okay.
have you cited the report where you state that there were no people in the Green Sahara, only animals? Did you cite that report in any of your videos?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Oh, okay. So what video is that? Do you know that video?
Just probably go to my YouTube page, Chief X, and if you put in the
Uh-huh.
search bar, you probably got to be on the desktop. But if you put in the
But
search
you
bar,
cited it. You cited it, so it's listed, right?
Oh my God!
I'm just.
Let me finish the answer. It's only I was just about finished. If you go to my page, Chief X, and you put in the search bar, you may have to be on the desktop. The Green Sahara, about 3-4 videos will pop up. Check them out when you get time.
Okay, yeah, I'll do that. Okay, Chief
Shaka,
X.
Brother Shaka, I'm about to.
Hold on. I just wanted to ask one more question to Chief X. Chief X, are you in agreement that the Sphinx was built during the Green Sahara period?
No.
Okay, you're not.
I go with the consensus. I go with the consensus.
Stop it right there, Shaka. Stop it right there. And see where the fight doctor is about to pick up on, and this is one again going back to the same thing. These are the Nile Valley civilization overlaps the Green Sahara, right? This is not like two separate things, right? Now, I'm asking about the Sphinx because the dating of the Sphinx. Now, the most conservative estimations of the dating of the Sphinx, what are those? Let's just see here real quick. Can you pull that up, Shaka? Or yeah, can you pull that
Well,
up?
yes. It's probably 24 or 2600 BC, but let's see. Oh,
Yeah, because I want to
share the
demonstrate
screen.
something to people here. It's really simple.
Let's see here. So if I go. Now, apparently here we have a quote. It says, E.A. Wallis Budge agreed that the Sphinx predated Khafre's reign, writing in The Gods of the Egyptians, 1904. This marvelous object, the Great Sphinx, was in existence in the days of Khafre or Khephren, and it is probable, that it is a very great deal older than his reign, and that it dates from the end of the Archaic period, circa 2686 BC.
Okay, now if we just look at the most conservative, I'm meaning like where the consensus says this time or before, but not this time or before, but not after. What date is that? Would you say that is?
Well, that I wouldn't know. I'm not sure. They were saying in the article. I see other dates. Well, I can show. Just let me do this again. So I read that quote here. Here we have Rainer Stadelmann, former director of the German Archaeological Institute in Cairo, who examined the distinct iconography of the Nemes, which is a headdress, and the now detached beard of the Sphinx, and concluded the style is more indicative of the pharaoh Khufu, circa 2500 BC, from
So
2589 to 25.
right. And
Then here we have another one called Vasile Dove from the French Institute of Oriental Archaeology in Cairo, who uncovered new evidence that the Sphinx may have been the work of the little-known pharaoh Jedefre. And here we have 2528 to 2520. So it's about 2500 so far.
Exactly. That's the consensus, the most conservative consensus. Not that all PhDs agree. Some say, and even like you said, Buzz said possibly earlier, right? Now,
yeah, 2600. Yes.
Now, can you do our audience a favor and look up when did the Green Sahara period end?
Well, let's look up the Green Sahara. So let's go to the top. Let's put green. Sahara. It's also known as the African Humid Period. So here, African Humid Period, AHP, also known by other names. So here they do mention Green Sahara. Okay, let's go back to the beginning. It's a climate period in Africa during the late Pleistocene and Holocene geologic epochs, when northern Africa was wetter than today. The covering of much of the Sahara Desert by grasses, trees, and lakes was caused by changes in the Earth's axial tilt, changes in vegetation and dust in the Sahara, which strengthened the African monsoon and increased greenhouse gases. During the preceding last glacial maximum, the Sahara contained extensive dune fields and was mostly uninhabited, was much larger than today, and its lakes and rivers such as Lake Victoria and the White Nile were either dry or at low levels. The humid period began about 1416 to 14500 years ago at the end of the Heinrich Event 1, simultaneously to the boiling Aller warming. Not sure if they're going to say the end is there. So rivers and lakes such as Lake Chad formed or expanded. Glaciers grew on Mount Kilimanjaro, and the Sahara retreated. Two major dry fluctuations occurred during the Younger Dryas and the short 8.2 kiloyear event. The African humid period ended 6,000 to 5,000 years ago during the Pira Oscillation cold period, while some evidence points to an end 5,500 years ago in the Sahel, Arabia, and East Africa. The period appears to have taken place in several steps, such as the 4.2 kiloyear event. So if it happened between 6,000 to 5,000 years ago, if it was 5,000 years ago, because we're in the year 2000, that would be around 3,000 years ago.
Exactly. Now,
I'm sorry, 3,000 BC. My bad.
Exactly. Now, we've already observed, I believe, or most of us know that the pre-dynastic period, right, is beyond 3,000 years, right? And now this dating here, beyond 3,000 BC, I'm sorry. Now that's also 5,000 years ago, right? And more plus, right? Now, scientists, they differ. Some scientists differ. Some say 4 to 6,000 years ago, right? Some say 5 to 6,000, as you read, 5. It could be 5.5 to 6,000, roughly around there. But I just want to remind people, the reason why we're having this conversation is because Chief X maintains that sub-Saharan Africans have no relation to the Nile Valley or North Africa civilizations or the peoples, right? So that's why it's key to point out these dates, right? It's really key. Then we can get a idea of where we're going with this, right? Because when someone makes a claim that these people have no relation, as Chief X has said, no relation, right? He said that many a times publicly, that sub-Saharan Africans have no relation to North Saharan Africans or their civilizations, right? We're seeing that the Green Sahara, although we haven't looked into the Green Sahara yet with Chief X because he wasn't up for that dialogue, we're getting close to discussing the Green Sahara and who was there, right? To dispute Chief X's claims that there's no relation.
Yeah, so that is more proof that you don't know what the hell you're talking about, okay?
I go with the consensus. If I don't know what I'm talking about, then neither does any other scholar. The consensus and the Egyptologists to tell you about the same date around. Now, if you're saying it goes back further, then everybody's
Hold on.
I'm not here to be the master chief. I'm not here to be the scholar on when the year of the Sphinx was built. I'm not that scholar. If you want to learn scholarship on how old the Sphinx is, go online. I'm not the one for that. I go with the consensus. That's all I'm saying.
Who's been studying Egyptology for 20 years would not be aware of who Dr. Robert Schoch is, and the simple fact that the consensus
I don't give a shit about no goddamn Dr. Robert.
It has been proven.
Now, if you want to argue about the age of the Sphinx, not me. I don't know how much. I don't know how much more mature. Hold on.
Hold on.
I don't know how much more mature I got to be and tell you the age of the Sphinx is not my motherfucking lane. So if you want me here sitting lying, I won't do that. The age of the Sphinx is not my fucking lane. I'm not into those studies. I'll go with what the consensus says. If you think the age of the Sphinx is different, good for you. That's not my lane. I'm not no motherfucking multi-genius, and I'm not no fake nigga that's gonna tell you the age of every fucking structure. This is what I mean by childish talk. Childish shit. Because I'm not a specialist in the age of the Sphinx. All of a sudden, I don't know what I'm talking about.
You would know that.
Brothers, please.
Hold on,
brothers. Please, one at a time, because we don't really get.
Okay, so let me go, because I'm not here for long. Because let me go real quick.
Hold on, Chief X, hold on. If you don't mind, let's hear from the fight doctor though. Just briefly. Go ahead, the fight doctor. But please, brothers, try to not to shout. Go ahead, the fight doctor.
So Dr. Robert Schoch is a geologist. I think he works for Boston University, and he has examined the stones, the stones in the Sphinx enclosure. And he has come to the conclusion, based on the weathering pattern of the stones in the Sphinx enclosure, right, that the Sphinx is way older than the consensus. That it goes back to at least a conservative estimate is about 5,000 BC, probably older, maybe even 10,000 BC, right? And again, this is not new science. This is not new science. They've been talking about this for years, right? And this is Egyptology 101.
Okay, my eye forever. Can I go now?
Okay. The fight doctor. Let's hear from Chief X. Now. Go ahead, Chief X.
Okay. I'm not here to argue with nobody about the age of the Sphinx. I've heard all that 100 times. I've been in the community since 1991. I've heard it's 12,000 years old. I've heard it's 10,000 years old. I've heard it's 6,000 years old. I've heard all that stuff 100 times. But I'm not a specialist on aging of the Sphinx. I'm not one of these guys who act like they're a multi-genius and can break down every aspect of science. I'm not fake like that. My answer is I do not know about the Sphinx, so that's not a question you should be asking me. I can't answer that any more mature. Hold on. I'm about to finish. I cannot hold on. I cannot answer that any more clearly or any more maturely, but tell you that's not my lane.
Okay.
And it doesn't mean I'm a fraud because I don't know about the age of the Sphinx.
That's clear enough.
Thank you.
The reason why you're a fraud is because you're ducking and dodging my second question.
I'm not ducking and dodging. I answered your question thoroughly, you bitch ass nigga.
Hold on. No, please, Chief X, please. Let's not go there.
Okay, well, he better call. He's making it. You better stop him. I answered. You let him know. I answered his question fully.
Yeah, yeah,
I'm
yes,
sorry,
you
but
did
you
answer
did
the
not
question.
answer my
Yeah, hold on,
question.
Okay,
wait,
so
Flaw.
please,
after
hold on,
that,
hold on, hold
he
on,
don't need
hold
to
on.
continue to
Okay,
call me a
check,
fraud.
okay, well, check this out. The fact that please try
So if
not
he
to call
call
him a
me a
fraud.
fraud, I'm gonna call
Okay,
him a bitch
okay,
ass nigga.
okay, no, but okay,
Okay, well,
let's,
then what
okay,
are you
it's,
gonna do? All right, I'm
hold
gonna
on,
Okay,
be so
so
no,
what
no,
are
no,
you
no,
gonna do?
hold on, hold on, hold on.
What are you
he
gonna
wants
do?
to get
No, no, no,
What are
no,
you
no,
chaos, so
gonna
I'm
please,
gonna
do?
give you
please listen to me,
chaos.
brothers.
If the
Hold on,
What are you
please,
gonna
moderator
do?
can't keep him
please,
in
please.
control,
But
then
that's
it's
what I'm
gonna
trying
be
to do.
chaos. Period.
That's what I'm trying to do. So the fact
Okay.
that please, please don't call him a fraud. Go ahead and ask your question.
My
He
question,
did already.
and again, which did not get an answer. So now listen.
Hold on,
So when
hold
you
on.
say,
So since you didn't
so
get an
you're
answer,
going,
let me
I'm
give you the
asking my
answer
question.
again.
I'm asking
No,
my
no, no,
question.
no, moderator.
I'm asking
He's
my
lying
question.
now.
Wait,
You should have told him
no,
he
no,
gave an answer.
no. You gave an answer about the Sphinx,
Thank
the age
you.
of the
So
Sphinx. Yes, yes,
him
that's
saying I
fine.
didn't
The
give an
Sphinx was
answer
not my
That's fine.
is some
second
mental
question. That was
health
my
bullshit
third
he's
question.
on.
But check this out. The fact that just ask the question, please. Just ask the question.
I would like to. I would really like to. That's what I'm trying to do. For the listening audience, please pay close attention to how Mr. Chief X, all right, how quote Chief X answers this next question. All right?
Yeah, just ask it, please.
Simple question.
Yes.
What do you know about the peopling of pre-dynastic Kemet, specifically the ruling class? What do you know about that?
Okay, go ahead, Chief X.
I see. I think people people like to go to prehistory to avoid the fact that we're talking about ancient Egypt, and ancient Egypt started with Narmer, 3100 BC. Narmer's from Central Egypt. Period. Okay.
It started before,
So the
but
people, there's the North Africans, the Egyptians, and the Mediterraneans started the Egyptian culture, and the Sphinx is right there. Where? Close to the Mediterranean Sea, close to the coast, as well as the other oldest structure, the Pyramid of Giza, right there in Cairo in the Delta, close to the Mediterranean. So if something is in the Mediterranean, more than likely Mediterranean people built it. Okay. I have a video on my page if you want to know, go in depth about your question, which you answered.
Pause it. Stop it right there. Stop it right there. He just said, according to him, if it's near the Mediterranean, then more than likely Mediterranean people built it. That's his claim now. That's his claim. Okay. Just want to make sure. All right.
It came from the north. Go to Chief X page. It's a 3-hour presentation. They came from the north. And it talks about the peopling of the Nile and how they came in down the Nile from the Mediterranean Sea, all up and down the Nile for thousands of years before Egypt was even formed as a nation state. And them people who was up and down the Nile were different than those people coming from the south.
Are you claiming
Stop it. I'm sorry. Now, did you hear? He's just said thousands of years before Egypt began, right?
Let me go back.
Yeah, this is Nile and how they came in down the Nile from the Mediterranean Sea, all up and down the Nile for thousands of years.
Play it.
Oh, okay.
He said before
Egypt was even formed.
Stop.
Before Egypt was even formed.
Okay, so now he admits that people have been going thousands of years before Egypt was even built. This is his claim, right? This is his actual claim. These people now he says they come from the north. So again, he's backing up his concept, his view, his belief that although it's fraudulent, his belief that Caucasians built were the founders of the Egyptian society, right? Now he's talking about migration thousands of years now. We're getting close now. Thousands of years before just to make sure we get it. Let's roll it again.
Do you want me to go back again or keep playing?
Keep playing it, bro.
Keep playing. Okay.
As a nation state. And then people who were from the Mediterranean Sea, all up and down the Nile for thousands of years before Egypt was even formed as a nation state. And then people who was up and down the Nile were different than those people coming from the south, because the people from the south had a bunch of cataracts in their way, and they couldn't sail through cataracts. So they weren't sailing up and down the Nile from the south. Only the Egyptians were sailing up and down from the north, all the way down to the first cataract.
Now, see, now we get another indication. He's saying only those people were going up and down the Nile. But see,
only the Egyptians.
But he's claiming nobody lived there already. Nobody just lived there. No people just lived there. You know, there was no inhabitants there. No. Because if there were inhabitants there, that means they didn't have to go up and down the Nile. They actually were just there, kicking back, thinking, eating stuff, drinking lattes, you know? Okay, go ahead. We're getting close. We're not there yet, but just to make sure we hear what he's saying.
Egyptian lattes.
Nubians were not seafaring people. They didn't travel up and down the Nile. They walked the desert.
Is it your claim?
Okay.
Is it your claim?
Go ahead,
is it your claim that traveling from the Delta to the south along the Nile River is traveling down the Nile? Is that your claim? That if you're traveling from the north to the south, that's traveling down the Nile?
The Mediterranean people traveled up and down the Nile.
No, that's not my question. That's not my question. My question is, if you are traveling from the Delta to the south of the Nile River, are you traveling down the Nile? Is that your claim?
Bro, come on, man. I've
It's
answered
a simple question.
I'm not doing that. I'm not doing it.
That's what I thought I heard you say.
Okay.
I'm not doing it. If you're trying to test me, if you're trying to test me, if you're trying to, hold on, let me clear it up.
No, hold on. We heard his answer. He said they went up and down the Nile. So they traveled up and down the Nile. So go ahead, Fire Doctor, if you want to, you know.
Yeah, they did that unabated. They did that unabated, just up and down the Nile, unabated. No rocks. No, nobody throwing spears. Just, hey, man, let's go into Africa.
For everyone who's listening, pay close attention. My first question was, my second question, my follow-up question was, regarding the peopling of pre-dynastic Egypt, not ancient Egypt, pre-dynastic Egypt, right? The question has not been answered, all right? And my follow-up question to that was, regarding the direction that you are traveling when you are in the north from the Delta, the Egyptian Delta, traveling south traveling in the southward direction along the Nile River. He claims that that's traveling down the Nile River.
I'm not claiming that.
Wait.
I'm not claiming that. I'm not claiming that.
No. We heard you.
Let him finish.
We heard you.
Let him finish. You clear up.
We heard you. Now, the first problem is that he refused to answer the question regarding the peopling of pre-dynastic.
I cannot do that. I can't, bro. I can't do this. I can't do this with these niggas with mental health problems, bro. I can't do this with niggas with mental health problems. If he's trying to ask me, I think he's trying to ask me.
Negro, I'm not even talking to you.
I think he's trying to ask me which direction does the Nile River flow.
I'm not even talking to
you.
Is
that his question?
Okay, hold on. Okay, ask your question, Chief X. Ask your question.
I think he's trying to ask me which direction
Negro, I'm
the
not
Nile
trying
River
to ask
flows.
you anything. I'm not even talking to you.
Okay,
so if you weren't answered your other questions, you punk.
Okay, no need for the punk. Okay.
Okay, I answered all his other questions thoroughly.
What, Chief X? Feel free to ask a question to the fact doctor, and then
yeah, but you got to get these niggas with mental health problems off your fucking panel.
No, but hold on, bro. Look,
don't do that.
No need for the mental health stuff. When he says stuff about you, I'll tell him the same thing.
But I clearly answered every single.
Now, I would like to make a quick observation just for the record. Here, you have Nakata culture. I'm going to share the link in the chat. And this is what it says. The Nakata culture is an archaeological culture of Chalcolithic pre-dynastic Egypt, circa 4000 to 3000 BC, named for the town of Nakada, Quena Governorate. A 2013 Oxford University radiocarbon dating study of the pre-dynastic period suggests a beginning date sometime between 3800 and 3700 BC. The final phase of the Nakada culture is Nakada 3, which is Coterminous with the Proto-Dynasty period, early Bronze Age, circa 3200 to 3000 BC in ancient Egypt. All right. So here you have a chronology by Petrie, William Flinders Petrie. I'm sorry, and he says the Nakada period was first divided by the British Egyptologist William Matthew Flinders Petrie, who explored the site in 1894 into 3 sub-periods. Nakada 1, Armatian, after the cemetery near El Amra, Egypt. Nakada 2, Gerzian, after the cemetery near Gerze. Nakada 3, Semainian, after the cemetery near Es Semaina. Now, I don't really want to read the whole thing, but just for the record, Petrie's chronology was superseded by that of Werner Kaiser in 1957. Kaiser's chronology began circa 4000 BC, but the modern version has been adjusted slightly as follows. Nakada 1 about 39 to 3650 BC, 3900 to 3650 BC. Nakada 2 about 3650 to 3300 BC, and Nakada 3 about 3300 to 2900 BC. And here you do have a map. And it says extent of Nakada 1 culture. And what do we see? We see Upper Egypt. Now upper is down, Lower Egypt is up. It may sound confusing, but that is because the orientation of the ancient Egyptians is right side down or upside down, depending on your perspective, because of the Nile flows from the south to the north. You see? So when you hear Upper Egypt, that's the south. And you see in red, Upper Egypt. And what do you have? Right underneath, Kush. So the area that we know as Nubia, I mean here, let me just do this, hold on. Now Thebe, or formerly known as Waset, that's already in the south. You see? Aswan, that's part of the area that we know as Nubia. You see? And just so that you know that I'm not making it up. And we have Thymis, that's going to be mentioned by the brother Chief X. See? Now, just so you know I'm not making it up, I type in Aswan. Aswan is a city in southern Egypt, and it's the capital of the Aswan Governorate. Aswan is a busy market and tourist center located just north of the Aswan Dam. Have you heard about the Aswan Dam with the Abu Simbel Temple? They have elevated the temple because when they built the Aswan Dam, so many things got flooded, and the Aswan Temple, the Abu Simbel Temple would have been flooded too. So there was a collective international effort, scientists, to elevate it in order to be preserved, to be saved, you see? So, here it says that, it is a UNESCO World Heritage Site, official name, Nubian Monuments from Abu Simbel to Philae. So that's part of Nubia. Okay? So when you hear people say they came from the north, I'm like, well, you know, the earliest culture, Nakada and so on, it's in the south. But hey, just saying. Let me go back.
One of his questions thoroughly.
Well, do you have a question for him?
Anyone think I didn't is a fucking liar.
Okay, do you have a question for the fact, Dr. Chief X?
No, I don't want to talk to this idiot.
No, don't need for the idiot. No need for the idiot.
No, I have a question for him. I don't go back. I don't go back and forth with stupid people. I don't do that. It's not my thing. I don't go back and forth with people with mental problems. I don't do it. That's not me.
No need for the mental problems. Okay.
Yeah, it's very clear he has mental problems. He can't even have an adult conversation.
Well,
he started off the conversation all wrong.
He is having a conversation with you, but it's clear that you're not in agreement. Like, both of us, Chief X and I, we are not in agreement.
Yeah, but here's the thing, though, my friend. When you know I fully answered this question, you have to stop him and say, "Stop this." He answered, or else it's gonna get chaotic.
Okay. Just for the record, a different source, this time from Encyclopedia Britannica. See, it's not me. Let's see what it says. The entry, Aswan. Aswan, also spelled Aswan or Aswan. Muhafaza, governorate, Upper Egypt, embracing the Nile River, floodplain, and immediately adjacent territories. Long and narrow in shape, it is the most southerly Egyptian governorate along the Nile. Its short southern boundary forms part of the international frontier with Sudan. It's bordering Sudan. Let's continue. Well, now it's peaceful right now. You see what I'm saying? So the fact doctor, what are you saying now? Go ahead.
No, I just wanted to wrap up what I was saying, right? So again, to recap, I asked him a question regarding the peopling of pre-dynastic Egypt, who they were, all right, specifically the people of the ruling class of pre-dynastic Egypt. He starts talking about Narmer. Narmer is the first pharaoh of dynastic Egypt.
Yo, let me answer it again, since you didn't get the answer.
I did not interrupt you.
Okay, hold on. Okay. Just go ahead, doctor. Finish your point.
He starts talking about Narmer. Narmer is the first pharaoh of dynastic Egypt, which is not the subject of the question I asked.
Okay, let me answer your question.
I'm still talking.
Hold on. No need for the Negro, please. Now, Chief X, you'll be able to go right after. Now, please make your point, the fight doctor.
Narmer is the first pharaoh of dynasty.
He's not asking a question. He's trying to teach.
I'm not even talking to you.
Okay, well, no, but Chief X, you gotta let him speak, though. You know what I'm saying? I mean, I can do a timing if you want, but
No, it's fine. But if he's asking me a question, I heard his question.
No,
right now he's
no need for the Negro. Let me repeat my answer since he didn't hear it right.
No, we heard it. No, Chief X, you gotta let him make his point, though. Okay, the fight doctor. The fight doctor. Go ahead and make your point, please.
Thank you. And I'm going to make this brief. Once again, I asked specifically about the peopling of pre-dynastic Egypt, specifically concerning who were the ruling class of pre-dynastic Egypt.
I answered that.
Who were those people, right?
He gets to
talking about Narmer.
No, let me repeat my answer.
I'm not finished. Okay, the fact that go ahead. Finish your point, please. Go ahead.
He gets to talking about Narmer. Narmer is the first pharaoh of dynastic Egypt. Problem number one, okay? Evidence for what I said earlier that this Negro is a fraud.
No need for the Negro. No need for the Negro. Please, no need for the fraud. So please finish your point so he can answer.
Problem number two, he wants to talk about things that he has no knowledge of.
What is that? I didn't break up no subject here.
Okay, what is that?
When the subject turns to the Sphinx.
This is what I mean by mental health. I haven't even brought up
No, Chief, no need for the mental health stuff. Okay, what is that that
he seems to not know anything about Dr. Robert Schoch, and again, this is old science. Dr. Robert Schoch has proven.
How many damn different questions he gonna ask?
No, he's not asking a question now. He's not asking a question right now.
Once again, Dr. Robert Schoch, look it up for yourselves. Schoche, I think it's how
we already talked about the pyramids, about the Sphinx already.
How it's spelled.
You're going back to the Sphinx again?
Prove that the Sphinx is much older than the consensus.
Oh my God, we're going backwards again.
This guy,
okay,
who has been quote unquote
Chief
in the community for 20 years, doesn't even know who Dr. Robert Schoch is.
Okay, well, okay.
So again, Napoleon here is a fraud. A fraud.
Okay, good.
Hold on. Please don't use the term fraud. Don't use the term fraud. No, it's your turn, Chief X. No, calm down.
I'm out because I
can't.
Okay.
Go ahead. Feel free to state the fight, doctor. Go ahead, Chief X.
Okay, now I answered the Sphinx question clearly. I clearly said it's not my lane, and none of us on the panel's lane, and nobody in the circle of the conscious community lane to determine the age of the Sphinx. We don't know for sure. There's many people say many different years. I've heard of that. He said I didn't hear of it. I've heard of all the different years and time frames of it. I heard of all that. Then he asked me about the peopling. I clearly answered it. Maybe he needs a pen in his hand to write it down. He didn't catch it. I said, I have a video on my page called They Came from the North. And it's about the peopling of ancient Egypt in the Nile Valley. I said this already. He didn't hear. And the video goes into depths about how they went up and down the Nile prior to Egyptian nation state being built.
Chief X, I
They
would like
went
to
up
ask you.
and down the Nile for
And those-
thousands of years.
Yeah. Hold on.
Okay.
Chief X, I would like to ask you. Do you think that
And those
Nama
were
came from
black
the north?
people.
Hold on, young hero. Do you think that Nama came from the north?
Listen, family. The Narmer palette is full of Mesopotamian symbolism. Okay.
I'm not sure about that.
Most of the DNA of the genetics and DNA we have of all the mummies we've tested says West Asia. So people came from the north up and down the Nile to get to the south. Okay, that's all I'm saying. So the peopling of the Nile. Let me just finish. I'm about to wrap it up. The peopling of the Nile prehistory. I already said them people in North Africa have been up there in the Mediterranean in North Africa for 30,000 years.
Stop it right there.
Green Sahara.
You see, he's about to speak about the Green Sahara again, but he's neglecting to tell people that guess who else has been in that area for for thousands of years prior to
Who else?
He's talking. He wants to go to the Pharaoh. Okay, but you're going to the Pharaoh again. What Pharaoh are you talking about? What time period is the Pharaoh you're talking about? And why aren't you talking about anybody else in that region of that's pre-dynastic? If you want to talk about people migrating in to Egypt, what about the DNA analysis of the people that were already there? That's I don't get it, but let him finish. Yep.
When it dried up, people went different ways.
But
what
about
mostly
Nama?
north. I'm answering. Hold on. I'm answering all these questions. I
Stop
haven't left anything.
He said it again. When it dried up, people went mostly north. Now, I would like to challenge him to prove that, show any study act by PhDs that actually say when the Green Sahara dried up that they went mostly north. Right? I'm curious about that, but
out. And so when they began to people the Nile, people were coming from the north down the Mediterranean, all kind of different ways. Sub-Saharan Africans, oldest ancestor is 10,000 years old, and that's Asilar man. We wasn't running up and down the Nile like that.
Yeah, but Chief
the
X,
people who are running up and down the Nile were of Mediterranean stock.
Stop.
What about Nama?
Where is
He came from the north.
He again, this is where the fight doctor is always going to these saying fraud. I believe he's alluding to fraudulent claims because he's saying that the only people that were going up and down the Nile again were people from where? Migrants
The North Mediterranean.
From the north, right? And the reality of it is that he can't back that up with any DNA analysis.
Hold on. Do you think that Nama came from the north or from the south?
Narmer is from Thinis, which is basically central Egypt, not Sudan, not even by Aswan. It's from central Egypt. And before he got there, there have been people for thousands of years before it got populated to become a nation state. People were coming from the north down there for thousands of years.
I have
you
a
can
question
go watch
for
my
Chief
video
I have a question.
called The Green Sahara.
So that
Chief
Better
I have
yet,
a
a
question.
video to watch is They Came from the North. Go to Chief
I
X's
have a
pages. They
question.
came from the north. It's right there.
I have a question
Full
for
blown
Chief X.
presentation with sources.
Yeah, feel free, V Bennett. Feel free.
Chief X, is it your contention that no people from north of the Sahara ever lived in the Green Sahara period? In the Green Sahara, is that your contention?
My thing. Let me repeat this. This is the third time I'm saying this. I said when the Green Sahara dried up, most people came out the Green Sahara to the north. This is why they had like small elephants and stuff in Morocco in certain areas.
Okay, so you agree? People from North Sahara Africa.
Stop it, Shaka. That's what he just said is absolutely not true. That is not why you have elephants and things like that found in the north. He has no DNA analysis to back up that claim. He's just saying it. He's just allowed to openly say it without being challenged at all. But go ahead.
Did in fact live in the Green Sahara.
See, this is a question that is prehistory, and that is about 7,000 years ago. Most scholars today, archaeologists and anthropologists, don't have a complete answer for that. So I'm not sure how I can have an exact answer.
Let me change this.
Hold on, let me just. I'm about to finish up. I'm about to finish up.
Okay. No, hold on.
We can only kind of speculate. There's not concrete answers to it.
I got a
to
follow-up question.
People to say that this person was black or this person was white and this person was this.
Okay.
That wasn't what I was getting to. That wasn't what I was getting to.
Before they were writing.
Hold on. So he wasn't talking about colors. He was talking about population. But just for the record, Britannica, talking about Nama, and he says that Manito. Hold on. There it is. Manito called Menes a Tinite, i.e. a native of the Nome, meaning province of Tinis in Upper Egypt. You see, and Upper Egypt is the south, just for the record. Well, feel free.
Well, I don't totally agree. Now, what I'm saying, when I say central, it can be little south of central, but I'm just saying central. We don't have to be dead on center, but I'm saying it was far from Aswan. Thinis is by Abydos. It is not in the south. It is in Egypt. No one came from Sudan to start Egypt.
Well, we didn't talk about Sudan at this point, but feel free if you may go.
No, but what I'm saying is that the narrative for the conscious community, they've always tried to say he came from the south. They were alluding to Sudan. I've been in this community since '91. I know exactly what they've been alluding to.
See, he's here talking about the conscious community. I'm not understanding that, because the conscious community is, what is that? Something, who made that up? Is that even a real thing? You know what I'm saying? Like, really? I mean, I don't understand why he can't have this conversation with just pointing out anybody's dialogue on the topic. It doesn't have to be people from the conscious, quote unquote, conscious community, because I don't even know what that is, right? Why doesn't he just refer to PhDs, historians, scientists in this amount? I mean, because you could say, am I a member of the conscious community? No. I know one thing for sure. I'm a member of the broader community of human beings on Earth, the broader community of people that are interested in African history. That conscious community is a tiny little segment, so yeah.
When they say they come from the south, they're talking about Sudan and Nubians.
Nubia was part of Egypt. The area that we know of Nubia is, there's part of Egypt and part of Sudan. And what is south of?
My only point is, when the conscious community and all the elders say he came from the south, they're alluding to coming from Nubians. That's all my point is. I've argued this with them, and they told me this.
Okay, go ahead.
That's not true. That's a bunch of falsehood.
Yeah.
But that was Encyclopedia Britannica. But go ahead, V Bennett.
Yeah, my follow-up question to Chief X is, Chief X, have you ever read any studies by PhDs in the field of genome biology and DNA on the peoplings I wasn't finished my question, brother.
Yes,
On
I
the
have.
people of the Green Sahara.
It's
And
the
what?
same question asked in different ways. I said
It-
yes. You're asking
Okay.
the same. You're asking about peopling out of the Green Sahara. It's the same question you're asking 3 different ways.
Okay. Oh, okay. That's fine if you see it that way. I don't
Okay,
see it that way,
so
but that's fine. But
So
what
hold
study
on,
was?
hold
What
on. Now,
study
Chief,
was that? And
hold
where
on,
is
V
it
Bennett. Now,
cited?
hold on,
Okay.
I'm sorry. Now, Chief X, according to you, during the Green Sahara, was there people or just animals?
Okay. Let me state this, because I'm not the guy who claims or acts like there's some multi-genius who can tell you every aspect of history, science,
I never.
geology.
We
Let me
We know
answer
let
you.
him
just so you
finish.
get
Let him
understanding
finish.
from what I'm saying. I'm about to wrap it up. Jesus. I'm not the guy who does that. That would be somebody like Brother Ankh. Okay. I just said not many people are very, very clear and solid on the exact things that happen in the Green Sahara. A lot of it is assumption and guessing. Even with the PhDs, I've done, they're not clear because it was prehistory and it's a lot to go through. It's a lot of nuances.
Okay.
So
The
if
last
you're asking
question.
me, Chief
The
X,
last
it's
question.
not, if you're
The
asking
last
me,
Hold on,
question.
Bennett.
Yeah.
hold
If
on,
we
let me
ask
tell
you,
you the last thing.
if we ask
If
you
you're
whether
asking
just
me,
animals or
if you're
human beings.
asking me, I don't have a specific answer for you.
Okay, fair enough.
That's
Thank you. Go
called
ahead, V
being
Bennett.
honest.
Yeah, yeah, that's fine.
That's,
Okay.
That's fine.
Okay. That's
don't
Go
you
ahead,
fine.
V
think
Bennett.
that's
Go,
the
Okay.
go,
same
yeah,
thing
hold,
with
hold,
the
hold on,
Egyptians?
hold on,
Just
hold on, young
assuming.
Harold. Please hold that thought, young Harold. Sorry about this. Go ahead, V Bennett. Sorry, because I interjected. Sorry. Go
Okay.
ahead, Bennett.
Are the studies on the Green Sahara peoplings that you have read, are those studies written by people that have actually collected analysis in the field where the Green Sahara would be in the Sahara?
It's like, okay, we're going on about the Green Sahara some more. Okay, it's just the fourth. But again, I strictly said, this is the third time I'm saying this. Even the PhDs and
It's not the
scholars.
third time. It's the first time I asked
Yes,
the
it
question,
is.
brother.
Listen, you asked me what you
It's
asked me
not.
about. Listen,
It's a
even
specific
the
question
PhDs
about
and the
the field
scholars are not
studies.
sure. They're assuming
No,
and
I'm not
guessing.
asking
So if you
that. I'm
expect
asking a
hold
different
on, god
question.
damn. If you're expecting Chief X to be an expert, you're barking up the wrong fucking
I'm
tree.
not. I'm
Get off the
asking you a
people and
simple
question
question.
now.
I'm not yelling at you, and I'm not asking that
Okay, so
question.
get
I'm
off
asking
the
a simple
people in question.
question.
You're being irritated.
No,
You're asking
excuse
about
me.
the
Chief X,
peopling
Excuse
of
calm
me.
the
down.
Green Sahara.
He said,
Shaka.
get off. He said, get off the people in question. You're getting irritating.
Right, exactly. Now, just rewind that question I tried to ask him. I'm sorry, I was on the phone when you were
Yes.
playing.
Yeah,
Can you play
no
it one more
problem.
time? Because I got a comment
Yeah.
on that. I mean,
Yeah.
something.
Let me go back. Let me go back. You know.
Now, I'm almost done anyway.
Yeah,
then
no.
we
Well,
then
no,
we're
you
gonna
have
go
all your time.
Yeah.
All the time. Okay.
About peopling out of the Green Sahara. It's the same question you're
Can
arguing
I
this
ask
with them, and they're
Egypt and part of
my
Sudan. And what is south of? Yeah, go
my
ahead.
point is, my only point is, when the conscious community and all the elders say he came from the south, they're alluding to being coming from Nubians. That's all my point is. I've argued this with them and they told me this.
Okay, go
Can I
ahead,
ask
Bennett.
a
Go ahead.
That's
follow-up
not
question?
true. That's a bunch of
Yeah.
falsehood.
Yeah.
Well, that
Okay,
was
my follow-up.
Encyclopedia Britannica. But go ahead, Bennett.
Yeah, my follow-up question to Chief X is, Chief X, have you ever read any studies by PhDs in the field of genome biology and DNA on the
Yes, have you?
peoplings of I wasn't finished my question, brother.
Yes,
On
I
the
have.
people of the Green Sahara.
It's
And
the
what
same question asked in different ways. I said
it,
yes. You're asking
okay,
the same. You're asking about peopling out of the Green Sahara. It's the same question you're asking 3 different ways.
okay. Oh, okay, that's fine if you see it that way. I don't
Okay,
see it that way,
so
but that's fine. But
So
what
hold
study
on,
was
hold
what
on. Now,
study
Chief,
was that, and
hold
where
on,
is
V
it
Bennett. Now,
cited?
hold on.
Okay.
I'm sorry. Now, Chief X, according to you, during the Green Sahara, was there people or just animals?
Okay. Let me state this, because I'm not the guy who claims or acts like there's some multi-genius who can tell you every aspect of history, science,
I never.
geology. Let me
We know
answer
Let
you.
him
so you
finish.
get
Let him
understanding
finish.
from what I'm saying. I'm about to wrap it up. Jesus, I'm not the guy who does that. That would be somebody like Brother Ankh. Okay, I just said not many people are very, very clear and solid on the exact things that happen in the Green Sahara. A lot of it is assumption and guessing. Even with the PhDs, I've done, they're not clear because it was pre-history and it's a lot to
Stop it.
go through. It's a lot of
Here we go.
nuances.
So this is where we're getting very, very close to the point, because it's becoming very obvious. And again, I've asked this question. He thinks it's the same exact question, but I'm really having a hard time figuring out why he doesn't seem to understand why I'm asking the question. Now, no matter how I ask the question, he seems to miss the target. And that is, he actually has not read any reports with DNA analysis from people from the Green Sahara. It's very obvious here. It's becoming obvious. It's been an hour now, and he's just keeps going back to the same thing. And the reason why it's so important to ask that question is because that means people were already there. He doesn't get that. And the analysis, Shaka, we went through this after he left, and he only left because he was just too belligerent to just stay in the conversation with us. By the way, if somebody curses at you, it doesn't mean you have to stoop to their level. You can control yourself, like many of us do. Somebody curses at me, somebody insults me. I'm not falling for that. You see what I mean? So part of it is your own determination in how you have decided as a man you are going to represent yourself. And Chief X kind of checked out on that. If he would have stayed around, he would have got to the part where he learned something, or where we get to the part that he just keeps skipping over. You see, and that is that scientists, PhDs, they have collected data on the peoplings of the Green Sahara. And that also includes Egypt, the borders of Egypt to the west, right? And all the way across to the other side of Africa, right? To Western Africa, from east to west. And they have findings, and those findings dispute Chief X's claim. You see, so although he seemed very irritated by this question, only asking the question based on his claims. Had he not made those claims, I would not even be asking the question. So, yeah.
Okay, the
So
last
you're
question.
asking me, Chief
The
X,
last
is
question.
not, if you're
The
asking
last
me,
Hold
question.
on, Ben.
hold on,
If we
let me,
ask you,
this is the last thing.
if we ask
If
you
you're
whether just
asking me,
animals or
if you're
human beings.
asking me, I don't have a specific answer for you.
Okay, fair enough.
That's
Thank you. Go
called
ahead, V
being
Bennett.
honest.
Yeah, hey, that's
That-
fine. That's fine.
Okay, that's
Don't
Go
you
ahead,
fine.
V
think
Bennett.
that's
Go,
the
go,
same
yeah,
thing
hold
with
on, hold
the
on,
The last question.
hold on, hold on, hold on, hold on,
Egyptians?
hold on, hold on, young
Assuming.
Harold. Please hold that thought, young Harold. Sorry about this. Go ahead, V Bennett. Sorry, because I interjected. Sorry. Go
Okay.
ahead, Bennett.
Are the studies on the Green Sahara peoplings that you have read, are those studies written by people that have actually collected analysis in the field where the Green Sahara would be in the Sahara?
It's like, okay, we're going on about the Green Sahara some more. Okay, it's just the fourth. Again, I strictly said, this is the third time I'm saying this. Even the PhDs and
It's not the
scholars.
third time. It's the first time I asked
Yes,
the
it
question,
is.
brother.
Listen, you asked me what you
It's
asked me
not.
about. Listen,
It's a
even
specific
the
question
PhDs
about
and the
the field
scholars are not
study.
sure. They're assuming
No,
and
I'm not
guessing.
asking
So if you
that. I'm
expect,
asking a
hold
different
on,
question.
goddamn.
You see
If
that,
you're
Shaka?
asking, if you're
You see that?
expecting,
He said the PhDs are assuming and guessing. And that's absolutely incorrect.
Hold on,
Chief
hold on.
X-
Let me hear that part because a few people are
Yeah,
talking.
yeah.
I want to hear it for myself clearly. Hold on.
okay, we're going on about the Green Sahara some more. Okay, it's just the fourth. Again, I strictly said, this is the third time I'm saying this. Even the PhDs and
It's not the
scholars.
third time. It's the first time I asked the
Yes, it
question,
is.
brother.
Listen, you asked me what you
It's
asked me
not.
about. Listen,
It's a
even
specific
the
question
PhDs
about
and the
the field
scholars are
study.
not sure. They're assuming
No,
and
I'm not.
guessing.
He said even the PhDs and the scholars are not sure. They are assuming and guessing. PhDs guessing? All right. Go ahead, V Bennett.
Well, that might be the PhDs he's been reading. I don't know. I can't say about those. But in case he doesn't know, there's a whole community of PhDs that have been talking about the Green Sahara, and they have data. They got data. They got data on ethnic groups. They got data on where these people live today. They got so much data that refutes his claim. That's all, and people need to know that. And Chief X needs to know that too, if he hasn't read any of it. But I did give him the chance. I asked him in the beginning, has he read any analysis that refutes his claim? And he has volunteered himself in the last 20 years. He either didn't answer the question or he hasn't. So if you haven't, you should thank a brother for bringing it to you, just so you can read. Don't be so upset and contentious over this little thing. It's not that deep, brother.
Asking
So if you
that. I'm
expect
asking a
hold
different
on,
question.
goddamn. If you're expecting Chief X to be an expert, you're barking up the wrong fucking
I'm
tree.
not. I'm
Get off the
asking you a
people and go
simple
question
question.
now.
I'm not yelling at you, and I'm not asking that
Okay, so
question.
get
I'm
off
asking
the
a simple
people in question.
question.
You're being irritated.
No,
You're
Calm
asking
excuse
down,
about
me.
the
Chief X.
peopling
Excuse
of
Calm
the
down.
Green Sahara
You're
a
shouting over
hundred
Chief X.
different
I'm
ways.
All right,
asking
all
God
you
right.
damn.
That's
about the
enough.
studies
Thanks
that you
for
read, Chief
thanks
X.
for your time.
I'm
I
just
said I
asking you
already
about.
answered that question.
You didn't,
What do
because
you have to
actually
teach us about
it's
the
the
Green
first.
Sahara? Teach
Hold on.
us. Stop questioning. Stop grilling me about the
Okay.
Green Sahara.
Okay.
I'm
Okay.
no
So
expert on the
hold on.
Green
V
Hold
Sahara.
on. Hold on.
V
So
Bennett.
That's
Okay.
what I'm saying.
Chief X
I'm
said.
trying to
Hold
talk
Rapport.
on.
about ancient Egypt. You
Okay.
niggas trying to take it back
So
prehistory and shit and England and shit.
No, I don't think. Okay, V Bennett, are you talking about? Okay, just go ahead. What can you tell us about the Green Sahara and the
Teach
popular?
us.
Or
Don't be trying to grill me.
yeah.
Teach us.
Let's hear from
Well,
you,
I'm not
V
trying
Bennett.
to grill. I'm not
Well,
trying to
listen, you
grill
acting like
anybody.
you're the scholar
No,
on this. You're
Chief
acting
X,
like
Chief
you're
X,
the
Chief
expert
X,
on the
calm
Green
down,
Sahara, and
Chief
you're
X,
not that,
Chief
nigga.
X,
You're not
Chief X.
that.
Well,
He's not claiming
well,
to be an expert. I'm not claiming to be
Okay,
an
so
expert.
he's
actually,
grilling me
hey,
like
Chief
if
X,
I
Yeah.
answer wrong,
Chief
then I
X.
don't know what I'm talking about. These are
Hold
these
on.
gotcha
No,
questions. Stop,
No,
no,
stop,
Chief
because
X.
he didn't say
if I
that.
don't
He didn't
answer
say
right,
that.
then they're gonna say, "See, well, you don't know what you." Just like
No.
the other
How can
dude
you,
did. Oh, well,
Chief
see,
X?
Chief X don't know
Chief
nothing.
X.
Chief X
Chief
didn't even
X.
know who such and
Hey,
such
Chief
was.
X.
Who
hold
was
on.
Chief
about to
X.
speak? Chief X
Chief
don't
X.
know this. Oh,
Chief
he's
X.
supposed to calm the fuck down.
X. How can you answer the question wrong? How could you possibly answer wrong? It's not
There
that
you
deep
go.
of a
I
question.
said, go ahead and
It's
teach
either
on it. Don't
yes
ask
or
me no
you
question
haven't.
about no Green
It's
Sahara no
either,
more. I've
hold on.
answered it with all my ability. How about you teach us?
I'm asking about the studies that you read on the peoplings
I
of the
already
Green
told you
Sahara.
about that.
And
I
I'm
already told you
asking
about that.
you, did the people who wrote those studies, did they do field analysis and collect
Of
DNA in the
course, I'm
Sahara?
not taking the information from some
So,
YouTuber like
so
you.
what's so hard? Okay,
I'm
so,
not
Stop
listening
it,
so
to
why?
Shaka.
you.
Stop it, Shaka.
Of course,
So
I'm
Stop.
not listening
why
to
are
you.
you?
Stop. He's not getting this. He's not getting this. When you redo studies and analysis, it doesn't actually mean that you're the one going into the field. It doesn't actually mean that. And this is where I'm really surprised he doesn't get that. And this is the reason why I had to ask that, because I wanted to know, is it someone that actually went in there and has their hands on the resequencing and the sequencing of the DNA to determine it? Or is it based on someone else's studies, right? Which one it was, or even if it's not, I mean, I just wanted to get an idea of that. And he just, again, is assuming that all PhDs do the exact same work, and they don't. They work together as teams often, but often it doesn't really, it doesn't mean that they went in the field themselves. So it doesn't discredit their work, but I just wanted to know that. So it was a distinction I think was worthy.
The Andrew Brunet wrote, the irritated dude is the one who said people didn't live in the Green Sahara. Because
he doesn't find that that's contentious, himself.
Because because it would have been my goodness. Because it would have been eaten by the animals. I'm sorry.
They would have eaten your ass up. That was his answer. That's why. Not that there's animals that would eat your ass up all over Earth. You know, no, there's no jungle in sub-Saharan Africa with animals in it that would eat you up. That's why why are people in sub-Saharan in the jungle? Why would they go there? Why did they run? Why did they stay in the desert if they were scared of animals? I don't know, man. He's got to. It just don't add up. But I'll let others break that down. It's just too much. But anyway, continue. We're almost there, man. We're gonna get to the fun part because Fight Doctor is gonna come up with it. We're gonna share some more. Go over a few things also after that. Go for it.
I just said PhDs.
Okay.
Who the fuck
Check
are you
this out.
thinking? What PhDs is
calm
writing
down,
about it?
Chief X,
They're not
calm
doing
down.
field work.
Okay. V Bennett.
Hold on.
Hold on.
Excuse me.
Hold on. Wait. V Bennett. Let me ask you. Hold on. V Bennett. Let me ask you the same question that I asked Chief X. According to you, based on studies or anything else, during the Green Sahara period, were there only animals or were there human beings?
According to PhDs that have done field study and collected DNA analysis in the Green Sahara, yes.
Yeah, nobody disagrees with that.
And the people.
Yes. So hold on. Yes, what, brother? They were what?
People.
There were people living in the Green Sahara. Yeah, people
who
from the
disagrees
north.
with that though? So why are we going back and forth when nobody disagrees with that?
Okay. Now, hold on. Chief X says who disagree with that. But earlier he was saying
I don't
that we're not sure.
Stop it.
People from the north.
Listen.
Sorry, no. He said people didn't. He started somewhere totally different. That was where he started. People didn't live there. They lived on the peripheral, mostly on the peripheral. And now it's, why do you disagree? We don't disagree on that.
They were people and animals. I just said people who dispersed, went north, south, east, west. That means people. See, I've answered this question. God damn.
I don't know why you're shouting, brother. We all
He's
No,
not-
because he's acting. This is silly to keep going over and over what I've already answered.
No,
I
but Chief X,
answered people was there at least
Chief
5
X,
times.
hold on. Chief X, let's be
Listen,
fair. You said
your
that the
opinion that
scholars
it's
are not
silly.
sure. You said that the scholars are not sure.
No.
But
I'm talking about for the details of the Great Sahara. I'm telling you that there were people there, just like you guys are saying. There were people and animals in the Great Sahara.
Okay, so we are all in. Okay. Let's continue. Go ahead, V Bennett. Go ahead.
Now, okay. I'm glad you agree with that, by the way, Chief X. And I'm not upset with you.
Why would you ask such a stupid question? Who doesn't?
No, Chief X, just calm down, brother. I don't know. I mean, there's nothing to win here. This is
No,
not.
I'm trying to tell you why, because it's some gotcha bullshit these niggas be on.
No, it's not, brother.
And they be on here bullshit.
It's not some gotcha questions, brother.
Guy, if
But
you didn't,
can
you
let the brother speak? Because you interrupted, brother.
And I don't know what I'm talking about.
No, we didn't say that, brother. We don't get that like that here, brother.
The other guy said that. The other guy said that in the panel. These niggas are co-signing. They didn't stop him from saying that. They're letting a fake narrative roll.
Hold on. The fight doctor left, and that every time he was saying some stuff towards you, I would tell him no need for that. And same when you just said
that nobody else said. They were all quiet. The panel was quiet.
Yeah, because we let y'all talk.
We were letting you talk. Okay, now please
you let the shit get out of hand.
No, you can't.
Dumbass questions like that.
But you see, you said dumbass questions. You don't need to say that.
When someone asked me about the peopling of the Sahara 5 times, at a certain point, a person gets frustrated.
Shaka, see, now he's being disingenuous because he's claiming, he already said, teach me something. He already said so many things. He started off with no people. They only lived on the peripheral. And now he's changed. Why did he make that change? Why does he agree with us suddenly? He agrees with everybody suddenly. But why would you agree with that if you've never read any data that supports it? And he said the data that he's read, they're just guessing. So that's not the data that I read. They weren't just guessing. That's 19 PhDs putting together a report on it with DNA analysis, which they actually state the ethnic groups that are around today that are related to these people. So see, he's acting like he's upset for some, I don't understand. He's acting like he's upset with us. No, he's upset with himself, and he should be. But he should not only be upset about not getting his facts straight while going out and telling the world that Caucasians founded the Egyptian civilization. He should be upset at just his own conduct and how he's speaking to us when we're actually doing what we're supposed to be doing, having dialogue with him. Yo, I'm switching over to my phone. Continue, bro.
Bro.
I'm not saying anything crazy. He asked me the same question over and over 5 times about the people of the Great Sahara, and you know it. This is what I'm saying. People are not being genuine.
We didn't say you said anything crazy. Now, V Bennett was going, you interrupted him, so please allow him at least to make his
No,
his
but
statement.
what he was doing was doing some kind of interrogation. I've answered his question. It became big. He was
I haven't
irritated
yelled
at
at
certain
you.
points.
Chief X, I haven't yelled at you. I haven't called you
I don't
names.
give a fuck what you haven't done.
Okay, so
I
where's the
just gotta ask you the
interrogation
same
coming?
question,
So
goddammit,
Chief
5
X,
times.
so
You
what's
stop
Hold on,
asking the question.
But Chief X, the way you are, it's as if the brother disrespected you. He's just talking with you.
You know, he is. As soon as I jumped on the panel, 2 niggas also jumped on. The point, their intent was to get at me. These niggas have bad intent. They never had any intent to have a grown folk conversation. All they wanted to do is argue and call me fraud and call me this, all this old bullshit.
No, that was the other brother, and I told him that to not say that.
That's how it jumped off. This is how it jumped off.
Yeah,
This is why we're here, because you got ignorant niggas on your panel. That's why we're here.
He said you got ignorant N-words on your panel. Hold on, Shaka. Go ahead, young hero. Go ahead.
Chief X, I ain't say nothing yet towards you. If anything, I was trying to calm both y'all down.
I know you didn't.
Exactly, bro. So I ain't got none. Everybody have their opinion on whatever they want to, regardless of what. You know what I'm saying? So ain't no truth, ain't no fact, in none. Everybody on YouTube have a different opinion. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah,
so
but
you don't have to say.
Here's the thing you got to know, bro. Here's the thing you got to know. I'm a 53-year-old wise man. I'm not stupid. I know the niggas' intent is bad. I know V Bennett's intent is bad right here. I know V Bennett has been clowning me when I'm not on, and V Bennett has called me all kind of names. I was just listening to the nigga the other day insult me on the program I wasn't on.
What did I say that was insulting? What did I say that was insulting?
Be quiet. You can't tell me no different.
No, but you don't need to tell him.
What did I say that was insulting?
What insult did he say to you? What the insult?
No, I don't care about the insult. The niggas have bad intent.
Chief X, listen.
Chief X, hold on, young hero.
It's about information, Chief X. It's not about you.
You gotta understand this. Chief X, you gotta understand one thing.
I ain't gotta understand nothing. I'm getting out of here.
Well, that's your problem. You don't want to have no conversation, bro.
No, I do want to have a conversation, but when I tell you niggas to breathe, I do.
So why do you take the questions?
So when I say calm down,
why do you take questions to be insulting?
Having a dope conversation, that's what needs to fucking happen. Niggas didn't catch themselves and say, you know what? We are acting ignorant.
Now,
let's calm down. No one did that.
Bro, you can't have a normal conversation, bro. You making claims on YouTube.
No.
Hold on. Shut up. Let me talk.
You guys cause chaos.
No, calm down. Okay, no, please.
Let me talk.
No, young hero, please.
Stop defending this guy.
What's the point of being a scholar when you can't? No one can ask questions.
Man, come on with that bullshit, man. I'm trying to talk to every question.
This ain't no motherfucking interrogation just for Chief X.
What's the point of being a scholar? What's the point of being a scholar when no one can ask you a question?
Now, there's something I did not hear, but I just heard now. He said V Bennett don't know half the I know. Then he says F V Bennett. I didn't even catch that. I'm gonna go back so you can hear it.
This ain't no motherfucking interrogation just for Chief X.
Okay.
What's the point of being a scholar? What's the point of being a scholar when no one can ask you a question?
Real quick, let me say something for 2 seconds, bro.
Go ahead, young hero. Go ahead, young hero.
No. We're not gonna say shit for 2 seconds.
No, Chief X.
And he's
Let's hear from young hero. Hold on.
V Bennett needs to apologize for all them insults he said.
What's the point? What's the point? What is the point of being a scholar if no one can ask a question?
I'm insulted, nigga. I don't insult
What
nobody.
is the point? Are you a scholar, Chief X? Are you a scholar, Chief X?
He said that eye for an eye.
Are you a scholar? Yo, you would think I'm trying to pull a tooth out of a saber-toothed tiger, man. It shouldn't really be that hard, man. I mean, I don't get it, man.
Idiot, man.
Fuck you, nigga.
No, no, no.
Are
I
you a
don't get
scholar,
down
Chief
like
X?
that old gay ass, old ass nigga.
I don't know if you heard that, but he said "F you ninjas." And ninjas, that's the N word. Let me go back so we can hear it for the record.
Are you a scholar, Chief X? Are you a scholar, Chief
Hold on,
X?
hold on.
Are you a scholar?
You this idiot, man.
Fuck you, nigga.
No.
Are you
I
a
don't
scholar,
get down
Chief
like
X?
that old gay ass, old ass nigga.
No. Okay,
Get your
okay,
fat
hold on.
ass out of here,
Okay,
boy.
All right, so we had it from the time Chief X arrived on the panel until the time he left the panel. And he left in quite a classy manner. And well, there's just a few seconds, I guess.
How can he be a scholar and you can't ask the man a question?
Dumbass.
Well,
How can the man?
No,
Hold
check
on,
this
The
out.
man
Check
is
this
on
out.
YouTube.
Check this out.
The man is on
Young Harold,
YouTube making claims.
Hold on, V
Young Harold,
Bennett.
I was trying to let Young Harold speak, but I
Exactly,
did ask
bro.
Chief X, what insult did V Bennett say? And he did not answer. And then he said
Nah.
he should get an apology. If we don't know the insult, why would there be an apology? So this video is entitled "What Egypt Debunked." Oh, we don't hear you, V Bennett. There's a lot of background noise. I think it's your ear set. So you can try to get that fixed, but we don't hear any sound. We don't hear your voice. We did hear.
Can you hear me?
Now we hear your voice. Yeah.
Yeah.
So this video. Hold on. This video is entitled "White Egypt Debunked." Chief X is in his feelings, and it is on V Bennett's channel, as you can see here. V Bennett. It was uploaded 5 hours ago. Oh, actually, I didn't even notice. It says on June 3rd, 2023, a popular YouTuber, Chief X, who believes that the founders of the rightful contributors to the Egyptian society were Caucasian, came into dialogue with me, V Bennett, featuring the Fight Doctor, Nyong Heru, on Chaka Nugu Kemet's channel, Maafuava, moderated by Shaka Nugu Kemet. This was the result of that dialogue. So go ahead, V Bennett, go ahead.
I mean, he doesn't get how he insulted, a lot of people with his claims.
Maybe try to move your headset because there's a lot of background noise. Ooh.
How about now?
Okay, try it.
Nope.
Yeah,
No.
there's a loud background noise right now.
Oh, okay. Give me a couple minutes. Give me 2 minutes, man. I'm sorry.
Okay. But in the meantime, we have finished reviewing the video. So if anybody wants to get on the panel, then feel free. Thing that the Fight Doctor wanted to add on, and everybody else is welcome. And maybe, who knows, Chief X may come back. Maybe he will be a bit more laid back. But yeah, he has a video called Black Egypt Debunked, but now we have White Egypt Debunked. We have a point of reference from now on, Yes. So what's your opinion, brothers and sisters, about this convo? Feel free to let me know in the chat. I was on mute. For those that don't know, the requirement to get on the panel is to show your face. Sometimes you may see some people. Here's a Fight Doctor. Sometimes you may see people who don't have their webcam on, but we know who they are. We've seen their face plenty of times in the past. Fight Doctor, feel free to speak, brother.
Peace and blessings to the panel. Peace and blessings to the chat. How you,
Peace,
brother?
brother. Oh, we're chilling, brother. What's on your mind, brother?
Oh, I was just sitting back and enjoying the comedy. Okay. Yep. I was just sitting back enjoying the straight comedy. Yep. A question for you guys. How's my audio?
It's all right.
Okay. Yes.
Feel free, brother. I don't.
So we were discussing the Green Sahara. And Chief X, his argument is that what I thought his argument was that the Green Sahara was populated, I guess, on the periphery, mainly because of the animals would eat the people who would live, I guess, more centrally located in the Sahara. That's what I think his argument was. Now, Africans have coexisted with lions, crocodiles, Nile crocodile, which I believe is one of, if not the largest species of crocodile in the world. They have coexisted with large constricting snakes. They have coexisted with leopards, all manner of big cats. Africans have coexisted with all of these dangerous animals ever since the Sahara became a desert. And this is, 5,000 years ago. So for the last 5,000 years, Africans have had no problem coexisting with these dangerous animals that are spread throughout the continent south of Sahara. And yet we are supposed to believe the same could not take place when the Sahara was green. So I guess maybe perhaps we need to re-examine how, Africans learn to, maybe perhaps we didn't know how to coexist with these animals until we left the Sahara. We gained that knowledge of how to coexist with these animals when we left the Sahara. Maybe that's what happened. I don't know.
Yeah, maybe we learned it from Western Asia.
Yes, the West Asians came in and taught us how to coexist with lions and Nile Valley crocodiles and large constricting snakes. Yes, we gained that knowledge from the Mediterraneans, the West Asians. Thank you, West Asians, Mediterraneans, and other Caucasoids who taught us, the poor Black Africans, this knowledge. Thank you for saving us from the lions and the crocodiles and the snakes, because had it not been for you, we would have been swallowed alive. Thank you. Thank you. And thank you, Chief X, for reminding us that the West Asians, the Caucasians, the Mediterraneans taught us this knowledge and indeed saved our lives. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you, Chief X. Thank you.
Oh my goodness. Oh my goodness. Feel free, brothers. If you want to add on, feel free.
Yeah, I think it's obvious what's going on here. All right. I think it's as clear as day.
Looks like an agenda, doesn't it?
Yes. He has an agenda to serve his slave master. Okay. If it's all white, it's all right. We believe whatever our slave master tells us, without question, we swallow it whole. And that's what it is. Never mind what the DNA says. Never mind what the archaeology says. Never mind what the oral traditions say. Never mind any of that. Okay? Never mind what the current state of anthropology says. Never mind all of this science. My slave master tells me that the Mediterraneans and the Caucasians came into the Nile Valley, traveling south along the delta, down the Nile River from the north into the south, okay, and populated and peopled the Nile Valley, and in the process created the state civilization we know as ancient Egypt. And that's what happened. So yeah, there's definitely an agenda going on. Most definitely. Yeah. Most definitely. House Negro agenda. That's what's going on. Okay.
Well, if anybody is an adept or agrees with the claims of Chief X, feel free.
I'm back, and I was listening to Fight Doctor, and I agree. And I just wanted to point out a few things. Again, this Green Sahara period, now it overlaps according to the data, right? According to the dating, the most conservative datings, right? It overlaps. Now, it's interesting how his theory is that when they leave, I mean, there's so many, I wouldn't even say interesting. They're just, really wild things in his claims, but they seem to only be, number one, mainly North Africans that he says that migrated north. That's what he said. He said they mostly migrated north. Then there's nothing about migrating east, even though there's fresh water east also. Like, why didn't they migrate east? Why? Well, I mean, he doesn't explain any of these theories, but I wanted to go back to the data that that report states, right? So we can point out to the people these ethnic groups based on their DNA. Yeah, I'm just here listening with my kids, y'all, in case y'all, just so you know, everybody's having a little day.
No, that's cool, bro. You got your priorities in order, so that's all good. All right.
The other thing is like, yeah, what's this thing about, we just learned after we fled the Green Sahara how to deal with these animals. That makes no sense. That makes no sense. And again, the data clearly shows that there were peoplings in the Green Sahara, and not on the peripheral, inside. And if you just look at the Green Sahara and you look at the data, it also encompasses, the data points to people in Egypt today, people in Benin today, people in Angola today, people in Chad today, people in Eritrea today, people in Ethiopia today. There's so many people in there today that live in South Sahara that are related through their DNA, and the report says it is not from the trans-Saharan slave trade.
Yes. Feel free, brothers.
Yeah, so there's also cave art inside of the Sahara. There's also the fact that we know there were lakes.
You're on mute, the fight doctor.
Oh, my apologies. My apologies.
No problem.
So we have the cave art in the Sahara, but even more importantly, we have we know that there were rivers and lakes inside of the Green Sahara. But what's most important here is the rivers that crisscross the Green Sahara. We know that people were migrating along these routes where the rivers crisscross the Green Sahara. We know this. So this argument that Africans were only living on the periphery of the Sahara when it was green, that's ridiculous. I mean, it's stupid. I mean, who? But then we're talking about Chief X, so right. But it's dumb. It's ridiculous. It's, there's tons and tons of evidence to the contrary. So, but yeah, Napoleon X is in a state of confusion, and we really need to feel sorry for him because it's just to be that confused.
Hey, Chief. Yeah. Oh, I'm sorry. I was about to call you Chief X. Good grief. My doctor. Check this out now. Check this out now. He admittedly said that Caucasians, that they migrated down the Nile, right, or up the Nile, you could call it, against the current, thousands of years before Egypt was built, right? The society began. Okay, that's interesting. So nobody else used any of those rivers inside of the Green Sahara? No one learned how to use rivers to move things around? Nobody just thought of that? But only these people thought to migrate, and they thought to migrate against against the current. They did that, but nobody else figured out how to migrate with the current. At least, I don't get it.
And here's an even better question. How is it that you could have people living or people indigenous to the Sahara, a tropical environment, who were not tropically adapted? How do you have indigenous people who are not adapted to the environment in which they are indigenous to? How does that work? Caucasians are not tropically adapted. They don't have dark skin. They don't have the correct limb proportions to dissipate heat. They are not tropically adapted people. They are cold adapted. So how do you have cold adapted people living in a tropical climate? Or, I'm sorry, how do you have cold adapted people indigenous to a tropical climate? How does that work? I don't get it, Chief X. Maybe you'd like to explain how white people are indigenous to a tropical, hot, sunny environment. How does that work? Please, and cite your science, okay? Cite your authorities, cite your PhDs when you are selling us your bullshit, okay? That's my question to Napoleon X.
And there's a lot of people who are supporters and followers of Chief X, and they usually leave comments. Why don't you get on the panel and let's have a talk? Because when you are in protective custodies, you guys have a lot to say. We're not gonna bite you. I see Ankh at Saddam, but there's no webcam, so please use your webcam so I can put you on the panel. Well, he's gone. So once again, all the people who follow Chief X, you know what I'm saying? All the people who agree with him, well, feel free, because you guys be flooding my comments, you guys be flooding my pages, but when it's time to have a convo, I don't hear you. All you have to do is to click the link. Chief X is welcome to click the link. All those people who said that we are Afrocentric and that we are blackwashing history, hey, why don't you hit the link? All the people who believe in the Black Egypt debunk theory, feel free to hit the link. All the people who label us pseudo, feel free to hit the link and just explain how we are pseudo. I don't think somebody's going to say that the report is pseudo. There's several PhDs in that report. Go ahead, V Bennett.
And since, according to Chief X, others came from the north and migrated up the Nile against the current, what happened when they met the people that were already there?
What happened? What did they tell them? What did they do to them?
Yeah, see, that's the other problem. He fails to understand that traveling up the Nile means you're moving from the south to the north. Now, he denied it, but I heard him say twice that traveling from the north to the south is traveling. I'm sorry, I got it wrong. I'm sorry. Traveling from the south to the north is moving down the Nile. All right. When you are in the south and you're traveling north, you're traveling down the Nile. I heard him say twice. He denied it, but I heard him say twice that when you are in the north traveling south along the Nile, you are traveling down the Nile. That's incorrect. And that betrays his misunderstanding of the worldview of the people of the ancient people of that part of the world. Their worldview, the way that they saw the world, was 180 degrees of how we look at things geographically now. Whereas Africa is on the bottom, all right, geographically, and Asia and Europe on the top. But the ancients, and this includes the Europeans, they saw it differently. Africa was on the top, south was on the top, north was on the bottom. So when you are in the south traveling north, you are going down. Hence, when you are traveling along the Nile River from the south to the north, you are traveling down the Nile River. That's why Upper Egypt is in the south, Lower Egypt is in the north. Upper Nubia is in the south. Lower Nubia is in the north. Below Upper Nubia, I'm sorry, Lower Nubia is in the south. Is in the north. Is to the north of Upper Nubia, and Lower Nubia is to the north of Upper Egypt, because Nubia is above Egypt. That's what he does not understand. He wants to turn things and make them upside down in the same manner that his slave master has taken everything and turned things upside down. And he fails to realize that the confusion is on his part. His orientation is all turned around and upside down, because south is up. Right. South is up. North is down. And when you are traveling from the south to the north, you are traveling down, because that is the direction in which the Nile River flows. It flows from the south up to the north down, and it exits into the Mediterranean Sea. So everything in the north is down. All right. Everything is in the north is down. And when you understand the north to be up, your understanding is upside down. Chief X, your understanding is upside down and turned around, because you think civilization came into Africa. No, no. Civilization was exported from Africa into the rest of the world. This is silly. This has been proven. This is having this conversation is retarded. But again, we're talking about Chief X. All right.
And let me just address Texas Bama, who wrote, sounds confusing. Wouldn't it just depend on the way the current moves? Well, the Nile actually flows from south to north, you see. So as far as the ancient Egyptians were concerned, the way we view the world was the other way around, because, you know, it was going down, you see. So to make it a long story short, the Nile flows from south to north, and it's probably the only river in the world to do so.
Right.
Now,
So
David wrote the 5 data. I was pointing at something yesterday too. Shemahu and Tamehu, the Semitawi. There is so much they ignore. And Love Mifro added, this is what the teacher at here taught us. If you had a question, you could have gotten answers in the 90s. Feel free, brother, the fight doctor.
Yeah, so the problem is that people like Chief X have taken the Western civilized point of view as gospel, right? And in his mind, Western civilization is the pinnacle of human achievement, and that there is no civilization greater or more enlightened than Western civilization. So whatever is dictated by Western civilization must be true, and to question it is folly. So that's how his mind works. So when he looks at Egypt, right? When he looks at Kemet, let's call it by its name. When he looks at Kemet, he's looking at it from using the westernized mind, which is backwards and turned around, which is why the maps that the Western world uses are upside down and turned around. If you look at the maps that other civilizations like the Chinese, their maps are oriented correctly, right? Because in their mind, north is down and south is up, how it was in the beginning. Because the first maps, the earliest maps are drawn that way, even by Europeans. If you look at their earliest maps, they are drawn with the correct orientation. North is up, south is down. I'm sorry, south is up, north is down. And somewhere along the way, Europeans didn't like that orientation, so they turned it upside down. And now you have this upside down understanding in the westernized mind that's been adopted by, or I don't want to say it was adopted by Chief X. That's just what he has come to understand. That's the mindset he was brought up in, and he has not yet learned to question what he's been taught from the beginning. He's accepted it as the gospel, and he does not have any idea that there were civilizations prior to Western civilizations, prior to Western civilization, that saw things in a different light and from a different point of view. He doesn't understand that.
And on top of the change of orientation of the world's map, they came up with the, if I'm not mistaken, it's called the Mercator projection, where Africa is much smaller than it really is in comparison with the other continents, when in reality, Europe and America and other parts of the world could fit within Africa, you know,
comfortably.
So, yeah.
Right. Yeah. So this is just all an effort to distort reality, which is simply that Western civilization, in truth, Western civilization is an African innovation. That's the first thing you should understand. Western scholars point to Greece, ancient Greece as being the focal point or the beginning of Western civilization. Well, you could rightly call Greece pretty much an extension of African civilization, because everything they learned from Africans. Their philosophy, their mathematics, there's even their religion. They got that from Africa. So if Greece is the starting point, the kickoff point of Western civilization, and the Greeks, who they themselves will say that they learn everything from Africans, then what does that make Western civilization? Western civilization is simply a function of African civilization, period, end of story. So so how does the child get to define the parent? How does that even work? That's not, no, the child doesn't get to define the parent. No, because the parents come before the child. So if Western civilization is a function of Greece and Greece is a child of Africa, then do the math, okay? And it's simple. It's simple arithmetic here that we're dealing with. But unfortunately, people like Chief X, simple arithmetic might as well be calculus, because there's no understanding whatsoever, none, zero.
And again, you know, I think it's important to just go back to the claims that he made, where he relegated sub-Saharan Africans or Africans or Negroes, as he calls it. He relegated our history and our presence to sub-Saharan purely, having no presence at all in the North.
You're on mute, V Bennett.
Yeah, no. I just want to mute for a second. Yeah, but the data refutes that. So I think at the very least, he might want to adjust that in his argumentation, because there are people that would be offended by that are alive today, that live in the region. I mean, imagine if you're Ethiopian and someone else is talking about your people. And then they're telling you that, no, your people are never connected to North Africa, for example, right? Wouldn't they be offended by that? You know, if that's not actually the truth? I mean, because after all, you're relegating them now to a specific region. And if you're not correct, that's like trying to, that's basically having no respect for the history. But again, you know, another interesting part about it is that they're doing the sequencing. So they're talking about the time period these people were there also. They know it through the sequencing and how they sequence it, you know, through vegetation, through plant life, through numerous ways, right? They qualify it, right? So dang, what was I saying? I just lost my thought for a second. What was it? Oh, right. So now how is it that we have any thought that these people from the North and the South, or even people that migrated in from Asia, that they didn't have any contact with each other, that they weren't even copulating with each other thousands of years before the Nile Valley civilization existed. And how do we define those people? When the DNA data, for example, how is an Eritrean different from an Angolan? When the data clearly shows that both of them have ancestry that have been in that region. It's been sequenced. You see what I mean? So how does one explain that? Do we say that, oh, Eritreans, they are, or Ethiopians, they have more Asiatic blood in them than the Angolans? Do we go about it that way? Do we do do we say, okay, this one looks this way from East Africa and this one looks this way from West Africa, but they're both present in the north according to the sequencing, you know? So I think there's a lot for people to digest, but there's a lot of evidence that shows these kind of stereotypes are no good with science.
And that's what's up. Well, it looks like Chief X and his followers are not willing to holler at us, and it's okay. There's no obligation. But it's a bit disappointing because it's been quite a while. They've been coming on my videos, leaving comments, making disparaging remarks, making condescending remarks, and they are always rejoicing about destroying people's arguments, people that they label African-centered or Afrocentrics. They use that term as a negative, but when it's time to sharpen the steel, they're not here. I guess the way they get down is being good cheerleaders in the comment section. To each his own. So, well, it's been a good 2 hours. We have it for the record.
Yo, Shaka, you want to drop drop that report that we were going over? Yeah, for the people, just in case they want to go over it, and people can. By the way, in general, if we want to talk about the founders of that society and that civilization, it's a good idea to start at the beginning and the peoplings, the actual peoplings. When you approach it from the position of Egyptology, a lot of people they want to focus on who the pharaoh was. For example, they want to focus on Egypt as if Egypt is separate from its neighbors, east, west, south, north, right? But when it comes to the north, they have a big argument that it's not separate at all. But they have a huge argument that it's separate from the west, from the south, and it's important to start in the beginnings. And at least one thing Chief X did was he alluded to, he spoke about Narmer, but there's actually a pre-dynastic, there's periods before that, and again, even Narmer, it has intersections with the Green Sahara period. So, that would make it within reason to study and have it on the table of discussion when we're discussing Egypt.
This is very good, because if we listen to Chief X and his adepts, it's like we don't have any arguments. We don't have any records. We don't have any scholarship. Like, we just have rhetoric. Like, we just have claims and hypotheses. But he's been talking about DNA and genetics, and that's what the report deals with. You see, so it's good. Good conversation. Let's see what your evidence is. Let's see what you are basing your arguments on, and let's talk about it. You see, so maybe he would take a few days for Chief X to come back and holler at us. Maybe we'll go on and make another video refuting the report from those PhDs. Who knows? But it's good, people get the information. They can sit back and relax and watch and read the material that is available free of charge. You have the link here. It's a PDF format. And we're going to take it from there. We're going to get clarity through dialogue, definitely, But it's amazing to me that Chief X and his adepts try to rely on genetics, on DNA, and they completely ignore the visual evidence. They are acting like this is the only painting that depicts what I would call a Black ancient Egyptian. You know, there are many others. They completely ignore that. Okay, fine, to each his own. But this is part of what we call data. This is a record, an archaeological record. So I don't know if they do some DNA, they take some DNA sample from his mummy, if it is available. I wonder what they will say. Would they say it's Caucasian? Would they say it's Western Asian? So Western Asians look like that back in the days? Anyway. Andrea Brunet wrote, having a convoy is easy, arguing is not. Yeah. But brothers, appreciate.
Definitely, Shaka. Definitely. And I just wanted to say this last thing. Listening to this dialogue with Chief X yesterday, I would describe it as 30% conversation, 30% being belligerent, cursing people out, calling people the N-word, and then
30% running.
Yeah, and 30% running away from basic questions. And he didn't ask any questions. You know, he made a lot of presumptions about me and my intent, and you
have bad character, V Bennett.
Yeah,
your intentions are bad.
But listen, I mean, there's a lot of people that would be offended by the things that Chief X said. Again, calling, just
N-word.
relegating the N-word. I mean, come on, man. And again, I'm glad you brought that up. He's not saying the N-word, and you can't even make the claim that he's saying it in a loving way. No, he's saying it with disdain. You see, that's the thing about it, how he uses that specifically. You see what I mean? And which is why I don't use it, because I'll be the first one to tell. Well, I use it, but I'll be the first one to tell you when I use it. I usually use it with disdain and hate. You see what I mean? Which is why I try not to use it. So, if he wants to talk about, how people communicate, he should take that into account. People would be offended, but outside of those words, I mean, again, the entire Africa, North or South, should be offended by his comments because they do not match up with the data. It's that simple. It does not match up. What he's claiming is not what science is claiming. You see what I mean? And people should be offended by that. North Saharan Africans are actually related to Sub-Saharan Africans. They're related. Whether you like it or not, they're related. They are related.
And who
they
says
are
that,
related.
Who says that? Did you wake up in the morning and you decided to say that? Who says that? What is it based on? What you just said now?
It's based on the science. It's based on the DNA. It's based on the DNA sequences.
Who presented that information?
PhDs in the field of DNA and genome analysis, biology.
Can I interject for just a second, please?
Yeah, feel free.
Sure. Yeah.
Now, I have a problem with that term, Sub-Saharan African, because
absolutely, brother. Absolutely. Yeah. And somebody made a comment. They said, I don't know if it was you that said before 10,000 years ago. I would even say no. Before 4,000 years ago, there wasn't such a thing as the Sahara. But go ahead. I hear you.
Right. So this is one of those terms created by Europeans. And again, we need to stop using the terms that Europeans have created out of their confusion. Right. They are confused about the geography and geology of Africa. And then they impose that confusion on us by labeling us according to their misunderstanding of Africa and her geology and geography, right? So they come up with this term, Sub-Saharan African. Now, again, let's look at how the world is properly oriented, right? South is up, north is down. Now, this is how the ancient people understood the orientation, how the world should be oriented. Now, that word sub, what does it mean? It means below. Now, if Africans, right? If Black Africans, and we're just going to suppose for a second, all right? We're going to suppose for a second that Black Africans come from the area south of Sahara. And if we understand that South is up, then how in the world are you a sub-Saharan African? How does that work? Because if I'm if I'm an African who comes from south of Sahara and South is up, then how am I a sub-Saharan African? Because sub-Saharan Africa is actually the region of Africa that borders the Mediterranean, if you want to be honest and real and correct about the situation. Sub-Saharan Africa is the part of Africa that borders the Mediterranean, because that is the part of the continent that is below the Sahara. You see, so we have to stop using these terms that the Europeans have invented for us, because they're confusing, because the European is confused about who we are. So we need to use terms that we create for ourselves and stop referring to ourselves and stop referring to Africa using these terms created by the European, because they were created out of confusion, and the only thing that will be accomplished using these terms is more confusion. That's the first point. The second point, again, Brother V Bennett has already pointed out that the people who are supposedly sub-Saharan African, their ancestors, where did they come from? They came out of the Sahara. So again, the term makes no sense. How are you a sub-Saharan African when in argument A, you come from the south of Sahara, which is not below the Sahara, and then B, your ancestors come out of the Sahara. So in both instances, the term is absolutely meaningless. It actually says opposite of what you really are. Okay, and to be completely honest with you, it's an insult to be called for someone to refer to you as sub-Saharan African. It's an insult, because they're basically calling you upside down and backwards. That's basically what it means. That's how I read it. So that term needs to be eliminated from our thought processes. It should be stricken from our vocabulary, because it is absolutely positively meaningless. And again, there was no Sahara desert 10,000 years ago, 5,000 years ago. So Africans have been on the continent, Black Africans have been on the African continent for the last 200,000 years, at least. So how the hell are you a sub-Saharan African when you were there before the Sahara was there, as we now understand it today? How does that even work? What the hell? That's a question we need to be asking ourselves every time that term is used. What the hell are you talking about, dude? Because it don't make no sense. It makes no sense. None. So I'm sorry. It just one of the things that just really, boils my blood is when I hear these stupid terms. Traveling traveling south from the north is going down the Nile, and that you are sub-Saharan African. Turn around and ask backwards. But again, the mindset of people like Chief X, who take whatever the slave master says and accepts it without question. If it's all white, it's all right. So yeah, whenever Chief X is talking, just understand what he's saying to you is, if it's all white, it's all right. And I'll leave you with that.
Yeah, and I think he may even be going further than that too. He's saying, because this report is 19 PhDs. I don't know one of them that's I haven't seen any of them that were Black, actually. And it's like I'm just trying to figure that one out. It just seems like if it doesn't fit his argument, it's not of any use to him, and that's different. That's a different approach to this. We're supposed to be considering all analysis. We're supposed to be privy. Our people are supposed to be privy to all analysis and discussion on the topic. Not simply reiterating one point of view. And especially when it's not represented, one point of view, even among the PhDs, it's not. So especially when you get into the Green Sahara, he made the claim that there's not much analysis and it's mostly guessing. No, it's not guessing. And if it was guessing 100 years ago, it's no longer guessing. So there's enough analysis on that, DNA analysis, for us to begin to dissect that and to make that a part of our conversation when we're discussing, Egypt, or any civilization in Africa. I mean, again, Angolans, they say Bantu people, a large percentage of Bantu people are connected to that region as well through their genomes. They know that. So again, it does turn over the idea that even Bantu people were relegated in their history to the South, and on top of that, it even says that some of the people in the North have this the same genomes. Many of the people have the same genomes that were there. So they share from the South also, or share from that region. It's not like there's nothing about this data that suggests what he's saying, that no quote unquote Bantu people migrated north. No, it's not that at all. Or these people, they coalesce together, and so they're spreading out together in different directions, and it's just done by a need. It's not. There's no necessary evidence to say that they went this way because they looked a certain way, or they went that way because they looked a certain way, or there's none of that. It's just saying they coalesce together within that region. So I think it's fair enough for us to just dig into that a little more and to try to keep that in mind when we're making these big claims. The other thing is that you let's get rid of this Negro and Caucasian thing, because the data just disputes that. Now, it doesn't say that all quote unquote Africans in the South are that their genomes correlate to that region, but it's many tribes, it's many ethnicities that do, and that's enough for us to, out of respect, take the data seriously, I think. But thank you, fellas and ladies that are listening, everybody that played a part in today, man. I appreciate it. Thank you, Shaka, also, and Fight Doctor, of course. Thank you, brother.
Oh, thank you, bro. Thank you. Thank you for your contribution. Thank you.
I appreciate it. And thank you, Chief X. Peace.
Thank you, Chief X. I heard everything. I was away from my desk. Sugar Hayes wrote, Europeans label you black and you are holding on to that. So what's the problem with the other classifications that was created by the Europeans? Before the Europeans labeled us black, we had a word in nature, which is Kemet. It is attested. And James P. Allen, PhD, translated Haneni came as Haneni the Black. In his book, Middle Egyptian, I think it's on page 5, but I've shown it many times. Like Dr. wrote, the root of the term Kemet literally means black. Yes, and the root of the term Kemet is Kem. So indeed, Sugar Hayes wrote, but your West African ancestors didn't call themselves black. Fight Doctor. Well, then if you talk about West African, but what language were they speaking? Let's say 2000 BC. You see? And Loving Flo says, thank the panel. But Sugar Hayes, if you want to talk about that term, Kem, in the hieroglyphic or Mednature, feel free. I mean, I don't mind if we can talk about some different topic. Just in case anybody else actually wants to talk about the term Kem in the Mednature, then feel free, Otherwise, I guess we're going to call it a day. It was a great show. Great broadcast. Andrew Brilliant wrote, thanks, gentlemen. Very enjoyable convo and easy on the ears after the replay. Yeah, the replay was something. It was a bit, it was something, but hey. Okay, well, I don't see anybody else on the panel, so I appreciate you all. Yeah, go ahead.
One closing remark I would like to make, and this goes out to Chief X. Brother, I think you would be a lot less frustrated if you would just come out of the closet.
No, I don't need to go there. I don't need to go there. Now, brothers and sisters, I'm going to make some closing remarks. Stay safe, stay healthy. If I'm allowed to, by the nature, I will never. Sorry.
Yeah, real talk. Okay. Come out of the
Stay
closet,
safe.
bro. It's 2023. Just come out of the closet. All right. Your life
That's
would
a
be,
joke.
your life would be a lot less frustrating. You just be who you are.
That is obviously a joke. That is obviously a joke. So stay safe, stay healthy. If I'm allowed to by the nature, I will definitely holler back at you. I don't argue, I state facts. If you're not part of the solution, you're part of the problem. If you do not think right, you will not act right. If you know better, you will do better. Way to do Anicheru. Hotel.
Now, for the record, for those who don't know, I'm giving Medu Nature classes. And here, that's the flyer. Okay? So, those who are interested, feel free to holler at me. If you're not interested, it's cool. But I recommend that everybody who has not yet seen the video, Kemet and Ma'at, before Judaism, Christianity, and Islam, then watch it. It has about 300,000 views and really deserves to have a lot more.
I just want to let everyone know who's listening in now and who's going to listen to this stream in the future. I just had my first Meta Nature class by Brother Shaka today, and I've had other Meta Nature lessons by other teachers, and I can tell you right now, the brother is the best in the game. He is that was one of the best classes I've ever had ever. So if you're interested in learning the Meta Nature, if you're interested in getting the basics of it, Brother Shaka is an awesome teacher. Get with him, and it's extremely affordable. This brother is giving us his time and his skills, and he's basically giving it away. I mean, I just consider it a donation. You know what I'm saying? So if anybody is interested in learning the Meta Nature, get with this brother right here. He's an awesome, awesome, awesome teacher. And I'll end with that.
Hotep Senu, Hena Senut. This is Julie, also known as Servant of Yah, and I'm currently taking the Medu Nature classes with Brother Shaka, and it has been an amazing experience. Only 2 lessons so far, and I feel like I've been taking the classes for months, just with the how in depth he goes into the vocabulary words, the construction of the language, the grammar. It's been immeasurable, the experience. And one thing that comes across, hands down, is his extreme passion for teaching this to anyone who is willing to learn and has an interest in learning. So I highly suggest, if you are interested, even a minimal interest, that you subscribe to the classes with Brother Shaka. It's such a nominal amount for how much you get. I know, like, our last class was over 2.5 hours. It felt like 2 minutes, but because that's how involved you are in what he's teaching and how he teaches and how compassionate he is about what he teaches. Also with sharing materials free of charge, no question, no doubt. It's just what he does. He doesn't have to, but he does. And so I just wanted to give a short testimonial about the class and the effectiveness of the class, and all of that is attested to how studied Brother Shaka is. So I highly recommend anyone with a minimal interest that you do sign up for the Medu Nature class. Hotep.
Don't forget to subscribe to my channel, which is Ma'at Forever. Don't forget to watch the video entitled Kemet and Ma'at. Don't forget to share Kemet and Ma'at on my channel on Twitter, Facebook, Instagram, WhatsApp, or other social media that you use. Email, text messages, you name it. Those who wish to donate can do so on paypal.me/Ma'at Forever.